All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to isbhpk San Antonio Sword of Truth class today on Wednesday. And first and foremost, we're going to give a shout out to all the brothers and sisters that fight and serve Christ and dedicate themselves as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is their reasonable service. You know, committing themselves every day on a daily basis, continuing to change and look for new eras about themselves and new ways to amend their actions, their habits, their lifestyles, their choices, their behavior patterns, so and their interactions with other people. So shalom and shout out to all the brothers and sisters that are out there that know they're Hebrew Israelites, but also to the ones that are up and coming that don't know that they're Hebrew Israelites just as of yet. Hopefully, if you keep watching, you know, not just our channel, but there's a lot of information out there. There's a great awakening going on around the globe about who the children of the Most High are. So first and foremost, we want to give a shout out to those that are striving to come to that knowledge, and also once they get to that knowledge, to make acceptable changes to Christ, Yahweh Shai. All right, for all those scattered throughout North, Central, and South America, Negro and Indian descent, and also we know that the scriptures say that Israel is going to be scattered through the diasporas across the globe. So we just want to return the lost sheep to the Most High in Christ. All right, because we all been that lost sheep, but and we've all been oppressed and conquered, and we fit those curses. But to those schools that are teaching this, ISBHPK Houston, ISBHPK Virginia, ISBHPK New York, Rochester, New York. Shalom to all those brothers. You know, our other schools out there. Shalom to Kawakat in Guatemala, and Amiyataza in London for doing the work and teaching and edifying the body Fridays as well, and also on their own channel, as well as the other brothers and sisters that are affiliated with us that are teaching in New Mexico, California, so on and so forth. Shalom to you as well. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters. And of course, you can't have a nation without sisters and children as well. So shout out and shalom to all them sisters out there putting it down on the garments, food, being the best type of help they could be for the camp. You know, holding their children down with gravity and sincerity. Shalom to all the children, the future generation of Israelites coming up. And we ask the Most High to cover them and that they continue to teach this truth, and this truth continues even far after us. All right, if Yahweh Shai don't come back already. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with class. Topic of the class today, go ahead and write it down. It's called Coping with Adultery and Infidelity. All right, coping with adultery and infidelity. That's the topic of the class. All right, yes. Okay. So we got readers. We got the scripture set up on the and Shalom family online as well. For those that are in class by way of Zoom or by way of YouTube, shalom to you as well, and shalom to everybody that actually attend class in person. All right, and also just a note: we got Purim coming up. We're going to make an announcement on this for us here in San Antonio. We're going to do something on Sunday, this Sunday coming up. So we'll give the details to that probably right after class. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. First scripture is 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 3. So we can get the first reader on that. 2 Samuel. Start at verse 1 so we can get an understanding of what's going on and what's being developed. You will need a Josephus, so if brothers can come get these and pass these out to everybody in the class.
Thank you.
Everybody got one? All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. First scripture we have is 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 3.
You on one?
Let's start at verse 1. Yes, sir.
Come. 2 Samuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 11 and verse 1. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
And David did what?
Tarried still at Jerusalem.
So David stayed back at Jerusalem while the men was fighting. Normally he go out to war. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And it came to pass, in an evening tide, that David arose from off his bed, and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
Go ahead.
And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself.
Man, so what was David doing?
Spying.
He was peeping, man. But
Tom.
he was peeping, and this is something when you look at this verse in 2 Samuel chapter 11. It says, and it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle. It says that David said Joab. So normally kings go to battle at this time, but what did David do at this time? Huh? He stayed back, right? So let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 33, and let's read verse 27 real quick to understand what happens during this time frame.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 7, whenever you're ready.
27.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 20.
I don't have it on the screen, so we're in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 33, verse 27.
That's page 90.
All right, go ahead. Let's read that.
It says, send him to labor, that he be not idle.
So the danger is being what?
Idle.
Danger is being idle. When you ain't got nothing going on, you just got time to kill. Usually that's what happens to a lot of people.
That's true.
A lot of you need a pocket for it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I get one too?
Oh, you need one as well? All right. Here you go. Got it. All right. Start it over. I'm sorry. What page we on?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 32, page 27, chapter 20, Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 27, page 90.
Read that one more time.
It says, send him to labor, that he be not idle.
It says, send him to labor that he be not what?
Idle.
Idle. Read on.
For idleness.
Because when you're idle, you have nothing to do. You have no work. You have no business. What happens?
No projects.
No projects, no visions, nothing on your plate, no business whatsoever.
I'm not catching up on any spring
I
cleaning.
got time today.
Yeah.
Read on.
It says, for idleness teacheth much evil.
It says when you have nothing going on and you have no business, more likely than not, a person is going to get into what?
Evil.
You're
Much
gonna
evil.
You're going to get into much evil. So unfortunately, the best of us, to the smallest to the greatest. I got to get the water. It says you got two of them.
Yeah.
Okay. We all got it. This can happen to anybody. It's not just us on our level, but David is a king. Although a king has a lot of business, but there's downtime, and with that downtime, he got caught up doing what in his downtime?
Evil, much evil.
He got caught up in his downtime doing much evil, not having any business. This could happen to anybody. So let's go back to 2 Samuel chapter 11, and let's read verse 2.
This pocket of just free time. There's nothing needed. There's nothing going on. But there was something going on.
There's some it was war going on. You know what I'm saying?
There was something going on.
He just stayed back.
Calm.
He just stayed back to chill. Just you know what? But when you stay back to chill, you ain't got nothing going on. Martin Lawrence said it best in the night. I'm not going to duplicate what he said. Chillin'. Yeah.
Chillin'.
For those that know, they know. For those who don't, good. Check it out later on. Ask after class. You know what I'm saying? But Martin Lawrence said it best back in the day. You ain't got nothing going on. You just chilling at the house. But this is what happens when there's no business. Read on.
2 Samuel 11 and verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself.
Now, he saw a woman doing what?
Washing herself.
Now, it was purely accidental. It wasn't like it was intentional.
But the Spirit just opened it up.
The Spirit opened up because he had no business. If he wouldn't have saw that if he was in war.
So all the men are gone right now.
Yeah. Now, it's a decision a man could make. Okay, you see that, you could say, okay, I need to unsee this. What hell, I'm going back in the house. You know what I'm saying? Or he could look, pretend he ain't looking.
And get caught up.
Look again, look down, look again.
Yeah.
But you got to understand what he was looking at. That's why we got to go to the Apocrypha. All right, so let's go to Josephus. I'm not Apocrypha. Josephus. I think it's book 7, chapter 7.
Josephus, book 7.
Yeah, book 7, chapter 7. Start at let me see. Start at paragraph
But when
start
David
at,
fell now into
start at book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 1.
Paragraph 1.
Start at paragraph 1. All right. All right.
Book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 1. How did David fell in love with Bathsheba and slew her husband Uriah, for which he is reproved by Nathan?
All right.
But David fell now into a very grievous sin, though he were otherwise naturally a righteous and a religious man.
It says normally David was what?
Righteous and a religious man,
Go ahead.
and one that firmly observed the laws of our fathers. For when
So it wasn't like David didn't have a reputation of doing good things, man. Hold on one second. Go ahead.
For when late in an evening he took a view round him from the roof of his royal palace, where he used to walk at that hour, he saw a woman washing herself in her own house. She was one of an extraordinary beauty.
Stop right there. He says she was one of what?
Extraordinary beauty.
She was one of extraordinary beauty. So it wasn't just like any other woman that he was just like looked at, you know, it was like, oh no. It was like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? It was a different kind of oh no, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a different. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It said she was of extraordinary beauty. My eyes are deceiving me. Am I actually seeing what I? You know the cartoons, they kind of take windshield wipers and wipe the eyeballs with windshield wipers in the cartoons. Try to squeaky clean. Is this what? Am I actually seeing this? Read on.
And therein surpassed all other women.
So it says her beauty did what?
Surpassed all other women.
Read on.
Her name was Bathsheba.
So that's why I said we're gonna hold that and save that for later. Hold that. It said that's why it said it wasn't just a regular woman that he was witnessing. This woman's beauty surpassed all the other women's beauty. She was outstanding. So he got caught up. Now you can see how this man who normally had a reputation of righteousness had got caught off guard. It wasn't like he was trying to see it, but what he saw stood out to him. All right, it caught his attention. Let's get back to where we were in 2 Samuel chapter 11, and let's read verse 3.
Yeah.
Now, verse 2, just finish, read 2 one more time, and we'll get to 3.
2 Samuel 11 and verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
Now, what did Christ say in Matthew chapter 5, verse 27? Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Next brother. What did Christ say about this?
Matthew chapter 5, verse 27?
Yes, sir.
5, not 24.
5 and 27. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Read on.
Verse 28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
He said, so if I'm staring at a woman for the purpose of trying to create something intimate out of sexual arousement or pleasure, he says, I'm looking at this woman and I've committed this another man's woman. He said, I've done what?
Committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Because I'm already considering it. Remember, the thoughts go before the what?
Action.
Before the actions.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm thinking it, it's just only a matter of time before I give my mind to it.
Right.
That's why Job said this in 31 and 1. Next brother, real quick. Job chapter 31, verse 1. Hold that where we at, Nathaniel.
Job chapter 31 and verse 1. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I made a covenant with mine eyes.
That's why Job said what?
I made a covenant with mine eyes.
That he's not going to do what? A covenant is a contract. A contract is an agreement. I made an agreement with myself. Read on.
Why then should I think upon a maid?
I'm not going to do what?
think upon a maid.
So he said, Job said, I made a contract with myself that I'm not gonna look at women in a way to lust. He said, I'm not gonna do it. That's an agreement that he made within himself. So he's telling you where his conscience is at, where his mind is at. He says what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. I'm not gonna go that far to look on a maid for that reason. It said, so let that go. Now let's go back to where you was at, Nathaniel.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 28.
Yes, sir.
But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
He said he've committed adultery already where?
In his heart.
In his mind. Now, we gotta look at this, because this is why you gotta be careful at where your mind goes. This is why you gotta make that agreement, that covenant, that contract that Job is talking about, that I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna take it to that level. And I'm not gonna even give my mind to that. Because what you realize is that the Most High, he witnesses the thought process.
Yeah.
He's examining the thought process. We want to get this. We got it up on the screen. Next, brother, Ecclesiastes chapter 42, verse 20. Let's read that. Tell them what page it's
So
on.
married or even without being married.
You know, it's a focus issue. Because a lot of times, a man don't have to be married, but he's looking at another man's woman, which is what? That's adultery. Yes.
Yeah.
You said Ecclesiastes 42 and what?
20.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, verse 20.
Tell them what page you're
Page
on.
96.
Page 96 in the red book. All right? Page 96 in the red book. Let's read that.
It says, no thought escapeth him,
It says, no thought escapes who?
the Most High.
This is why if you're thinking about something licentious, or that's lustful, or that's no good, that's evil, the Most High is watching your thoughts. The Most High is paying attention to every thought. No thought escapes the Most High. The Most High examines where a man's mind is.
Right.
If 80% of the day, my mind I can't be looking spiritual, but my mind is in the trash 80% of the day, but I look spiritual.
Right.
The only person you're faking is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like the Most High is not paying attention to where your mind is. He says what?
It says, no thought escapeth him.
No thought escapes the Most High. So if your mind is on lust 80-90% of the day, but you looking spiritual, you're not faking the Most High out. All right? You're not cheating the Most High like he don't know where your mind's been at. But to everybody else, I'm going to look on point. I'm going to look strong and straight and focused and solid. You know what I'm saying? I got my stuff together.
Yeah.
But 80-90% of the day, my mind's on trash. My mind's on my lust. Who am
That's
I
my
fooling?
business.
Who am I fooling though?
Yourself.
Come.
Because see, I think that, I can just dive into my imagination, and that's where I get to swim unadulterated without anybody watching me. I can swim in my mind. I get to get loose up here. That although people may not know what I'm thinking, but I'm free here to think about what I want to think about.
Right.
But no, you're not, because the Most High is examining that thought process. Read it again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, verse 20. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him.
It says no thought nor no word is hidden from the Most High or escaped from the Most High. So the Most High is watching, he's listening, he's paying attention, and he has vision that's beyond Superman vision. He's got beyond X-ray vision. He's got beyond gamma ray vision. The Most High got vision. Shalom. The Most High got vision that you can't see. You might, although other people around you may not see, but the Most High see your thoughts. That's why it's so important that, and it's critical that you manage your mind frame and you manage your thought process. Because the Most High, he's going to check you for it. He's watching out for it. So let that go. Let's get back to where we was at. In Ecclesiastes. No, hold on. Read that in 2 Samuel chapter 11. And let's get verse 3. Yes, sir.
2 Samuel 11 and verse 3. And David sinned and inquired after the woman. And one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam?
And so now his lust provoked him to entertain getting the woman to him. So he wanted to know who she was. It's See, that's why I said the thoughts go before the action. So now he's looking at her, saw something, saw her bathing, and he entertained those thoughts. Now you got to find out, who is she? Who does she belong to? And it was told to him what? Will you read it again?
Slack. And David sent and inquired after the woman.
So to inquire about the woman is you want to know who she is. Who does she belong to? She's single? She's married? What's going on? What's the status? What's your status? Yeah, complicated. it's not complicated.
It's not complicated.
The status is not complicated.
Not show sign.
Yeah. I got a friend. Nah, that's friends, man.
Asking for it.
I got a friend. I got friends. That, you don't know. There's no such thing. Are you dating or you dealing or you're not? Are you married or you're not? But or you're betrothed. You know what I'm saying? And even betrothed is considered hands off. Even a woman that's betrothed or promised to another man. That's still not available. Read on.
And one said, "Is not this Bathsheba?"
Boom. Now he got the information that he wanted to know. Is she single? Is she taken? She married? Obviously the answer is what? Yes, she's married. She's a married woman. That's not yours. That's hands off. Leave her alone. She's taken. So now, hold that. You can sit down, have a seat. Next, brother, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 1. Apocrypha, Red Book, Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23, verse 1, page 84, top left corner.
Mm-hmm.
It says, O Lord, Father and Governor of all my whole life.
He said, Father and Governor of my whole what?
Life.
Man, go ahead.
Leave me not to their counsels.
Read on.
And let me not fall by them.
Read.
It says, who will set scourges over my thoughts?
He said that's why he's asking who's gonna set these stripes, these whips, and check my thoughts and correct my thoughts. Because your thoughts will lead you astray, just like David did. Who's gonna set scourges? Kawakal broke that down phenomenally about the scourges and how how they were used in ancient times and the purpose of them and how they were instrumented. There was a meticulous, even an angle at how the scourges would get maximum effect on the body, which is a whip. A scourge is a whip. Mm-hmm. So it was great how he broke that down. So he said, who's going to put scourges over my thoughts? Who's going to check my thoughts when my thoughts get away from me? And I'm entertaining something that I'm not supposed to be entertaining. Or my mind's going somewhere that it shouldn't be going on. Read on.
It says, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart.
Go ahead.
That they spare me not for mine ignorances.
Go ahead.
And it passed not.
It says that they spare me not for what?
Mine ignorances.
So you know what? I got to get this thought eradicated out of my mind. And this discipline, these scourges, they don't spare my feelings. I need to remove these negative thoughts at all costs. Read on.
And it passed not by my sins.
Read on.
Lest mine ignorances increase.
It says, let my ignorances do what?
Increase.
So if nobody stay on top of my thoughts, what's going to happen to your ignorance?
They will increase.
It's going to
Ignorance
grow.
is guaranteed to
Multiply.
increase.
It's going to grow. It's going to multiply. Ignorance is going to grow. You don't stay ignorant, you become more ignorant. Read on.
It says, and my sins abound to my destruction.
Read on. And your sins are going to get you in trouble. Read on.
And I fall before mine adversaries.
Go ahead.
And my enemy rejoice over me.
Go ahead.
Whose hope is far from thy mercy.
Read.
O Lord, Father and power of my life, give me not a proud look.
He said, give me not a what?
A proud look.
He said, I beg you to not give me a proud look. He said, I'm begging that you don't allow me to develop a proud look. Right? Read on.
It says, but turn away from thy servants always a haughty mind.
It says, and please do not let me come near what type of mind frame?
A haughty mind.
A haughty mind. Now,
It's that presumptuous.
yeah, it's a presumptuousness, it's a willfulness, it's a boldness, it's a cockiness, it's an arrogance that people possess.
Entitlement nature.
It's an entitlement. I get to have what I know is forbidden, because that's where that mind leads you. You get to touch the forbidden fruit. No man is licensed to touch the forbidden fruit.
God.
But if I develop a haughty spirit, if I develop an arrogance, a pride about me, like Dawiah said, an entitlement, then I get to go beyond what the normal restraint that everybody else has to live under. I get to touch what shouldn't be untouched. I get to do the things that I shouldn't be doing. That's stemming from what? Pride, arrogance. That's why he's begging. He's saying, please don't give me this.
You can't be like Humpty Hump.
Yeah, nah, man.
You want the definition of haughty?
No, not yet. Read on.
We are now in verse 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 5. It says, turn away from me, vain hopes.
It says, turn away from me what?
Vain hopes.
Read on.
And concupiscence.
And what?
Concupiscence.
Now that I want the definition for. Concupiscence. He says, turn away from me, vain hopes and concupiscence. Get the definition of that.
I got it. Concupiscence. It says lust, unlawful or irregular desire of sexual pleasure.
So if you add an arrogance, a pride, an entitlement to lust, you're going to guarantee get somebody that's going to step out of bounds. When you unite those two things together, you unite pride and lust together, a person is bound to sin and make mistakes. When those two things are triggered,
Those two elements are dangerous.
that's very dangerous. This is why David said this. Go to Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. Hold that definition.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8 reads, remove far from me vanity and lies.
That's why he said, remove far from me what?
Vanity and lies.
That's why he said, remove far from me vanity and lies. These two things are diseases, man. Both of these things are troublemakers. That vanity comes from that arrogance, that pride. The lies is how I think the Most High is going to see me, how I think the Most High is going to judge me. He said these two things. He said, man, make sure I don't fall into these two things. Read on. This is a powerful combination, guaranteed to steer a man the wrong way or a woman the wrong way. Read on.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
He said, give me neither what?
Poverty nor riches.
It said, give me neither poverty nor riches. Read on.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
He says, give me what you feel like you want to give me. Let me not go after my own lust.
Let me not have that environment that gives me the opportunity to pursue more of the flesh. The environment that gives me the idle time to pursue more evil.
Yep. Because you know what that pride does? That pride breeds that haughtiness, and that haughtiness gives you that vanity.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
That I get to have something that is not meant for me. Even though that's that other man's woman, it's okay if I still indulge. Now I've gone from, yes sir.
Can you say that principle again? About
That the pride breeds the pride breeds that vanity, which is that arrogance to be able to say, even though that's that man's woman, I still get to indulge. It's still mine, or I still should be able to indulge.
As to the reason why he continues to.
Why, right? As the reason why he does that. Yes, sir.
You said pride breeds haughtiness, and haughtiness.
No,
breeds
that
vanity.
pride breeds that vanity, and that vanity breeds the arrogance. It brings the arrogant mind forward to tell a man that he's able to do something that's unlawful.
It's a deadly combination.
It's a bad combination. He can do something unlawful, and the Most High will be okay with it. These two together are a bad duo, man. They're destined to cause somebody to fail. Then I'm gonna show you. Stay in the Josephus, right? We're in the Josephus, right?
Okay. You want it 9?
We're gonna read verse 9 in just a minute, because that's gonna break down the vanity and the poverty. But before we can even go there, I want to go here. I want to skip down. Go to the Josephus. I want you to go to book 6 in the Josephus. If you got the Josephus, go to book 6. Go to chapter 12. I want you to go to book 6, chapter 12, and I want you to start at paragraph 7.
When it says, now this King Saul.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Josephus, book 6, chapter 12, paragraph 7. Now this King Saul.
Everybody got it?
Come.
What page you on in the Josephus?
And the Josephus 171.
Page 171. All right. I want you to read. You see the chapter, paragraph 7.
Yeah.
I want you to read the line 264, 263, and 262, 263, and 264. All right. You got
that 264.
Yeah, and finish 264. All right.
Good.
All right. So read that.
Okay. Josephus, book 6, chapter 12, paragraph 7.
All right. Everybody got it? All right. Read that.
Now this King Saul, by perpetrating so
No. Perpetrating
so barbarous a crime,
barbarous a crime,
and murdering the whole family of the high priestly dignity.
So now we read here that Saul is guilty of murdering a whole family of priests, right? Read on.
By having no pity to the infants, nor reverence for the aged, and by overthrowing the city which the Most High has chosen for the property, and for the support of the priests and prophets which were there, and had ordained as the only city allotted for the education of such men, gives all to understand and to consider the disposition of men, that while they
says now he's going to let you know, why in the hell would a man do this? Why would Saul kill the only school of the prophets that was available at the time to educate the people, kill the priest that does the priest service? Why would that the whole nation depended upon?
It's crazy.
He said, why would a man do this? Well, he said now he wants to go into the examination of the disposition of men. Why do men behave the way they would, knowing what they know? So now he's about to explain the mind frame behind those actions. Read on.
263. That while they are private persons.
They said while they were private persons, meaning when you was just a nobody.
That's true.
But nobody knew the hell you were.
That's crazy, bro. When you weren't important.
When you weren't important.
Low key.
When you didn't have that opportunity.
Lower than low key. No key. You wasn't no key.
Yeah.
So when you wasn't, he said when you was a private person, meaning nobody knew the hell you were. You were just a goat herder. You were a goat herder. You was a sheep shearer. Whatever you was doing, nobody really knew you from anybody. Nobody knew you from Adam, right? As the saying goes, right? So when you was a private person, which is a nobody, read on.
Now while they are
to yourself
persons,
go ahead.
And a low condition.
Yeah, and you came from nothing. You was on the bottom. Read on.
Because it is not in their power to indulge nature.
It said because they can't indulge nature because they don't have the means sufficient to indulge nature.
Oh, I don't have the situation for this.
I don't have the sufficient. I'll say the supply to do the things that I really want to do.
Wow.
I'm not in a position to supply my fantasies.
That's crazy.
I'm not in a position to satisfy my wants. For one, I'm nobody. I'm broke. I really can't execute my lust like I want to because I'm broke and I'm still down and out and I'm still
How true.
still lacking. So when a man's in this position, you really can't see a man's mind. Read on.
It says, because it is not in their power to indulge nature.
It says it's not in their power, so they don't got the supplies necessary to indulge in their power. So you can really see how a person thinks. Read on.
Nor to venture upon what they wish for.
They said they too damn broke to venture upon what they wish for.
It's just a fantasy.
It's just a fantasy at this point. You're daydreaming. You're window shopping. Yeah, you just, you know, like the old JCPenney commercial, or Mervis. What was Mervis? Open. The white lady tapping on the glass. That's a little old reference, man. People don't remember that. You remember that? That's an old reference.
Tapping on the glass.
Yeah.
Window shopping.
Yeah, window shopping.
50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you're window shopping, so you don't got the means to necessarily satisfy your flesh. Read on.
It says, nor to venture upon what they wish for, they are equitable and moderate.
He said they're what?
Equitable and moderate.
Man, when you're humbled, you don't got nothing.
Oh, you're gonna be
You
righteous.
He said you at least be equitable. You'll be fair, and you'll have some modesty.
That's real.
That modesty is a little bit of discretion. You have discretion on how to treat people and what's appropriate. For one, you're not in a position to flex. You can't afford to flex.
You can't afford to flex.
You're broke and nobody know you. So you can't flex. You can't be stunting on nobody. You can't flex with authority because you don't have none. He says, so because of that condition, keeps them humble. It keeps them isolated and controlled. Then you see somewhat of a better state of mind or a better person. Because then they're equitable and then they're modest. They're more likely to do some justice than do some wickedness when they're in that low position. Read on.
And pursue nothing.
And they don't got nothing. Read on.
But pursue nothing but what is just.
But pursue nothing but what is just. Now they're doing right. Read on.
And bend their whole minds and labor that way.
So now they look the part that, man, this is an upright, just individual. Man, this is a good man. This is a good woman. She's only good because she's down. He's only good because he's at a low point.
I'm good.
What did Mike Tyson say? He said, the Most High will curse you by giving you everything you want.
God.
He would know.
Yeah. From a man that burnt through 300 million.
Yeah.
You know, anybody know? He know him and Holyfield know too. Holyfield also blew through 300 million. But if they them two would know for sure. But he said that they were somewhat just and bend their whole minds and labors that way. Go ahead.
Then it is that they have this belief about the Most High, that He is present to all the actions of their lives.
Now, because I'm down, I'm low, I'm in a low state, I'm in a needy position. Now I have a consciousness because I'm in a needy position. I got a conscience. Read on.
Done. And that He does not only see the actions that are done, but clearly knows their thoughts.
But also. Clearly knows what?
Their thoughts also.
Now I have a conscience. Now I know I gotta behave a certain way because I don't want the Most High to reduce me more than I'm already reduced. I'm already at the bottom. I'm already starting from nothing. Right? Read on.
Okay. It says, whence those actions do arise.
Go ahead.
But once they are advanced.
You got to read it clear.
Finger. Use your finger, sir.
But when once they are advanced into power and authority.
He says, but there's a switch up in men. There's a switch up in women.
It's crazy.
When their position switches, when their power comes into play, before they didn't have any. What did Eddie Murphy say? He brought an African woman with a bone in her nose.
Yeah, out of the bush.
Yeah, out the bush. He brought a bush woman to America.
Really humble at first.
And after a while, she was like, Eddie, I want half, Eddie. I want half, Eddie.
You treat me, Eddie.
I don't like the way you treat me, Eddie. I want half, Eddie.
Yeah. The other women, they tell me.
You know, so that's a crazy point because he's showing the mind frame. When a person is down and low, you would see the best side of that individual. But as soon as somebody gets some power, they get some rank, they get some authority,
Hey, bro.
they get some power, rank, and authority, then you're able to see a change. Tell them where you at.
God.
You need Bible, sir? Tell them where you at.
God. Josephus, book 6, chapter 12, number 264.
All right.
264.
All right, let's find it. Let's find it. Everybody time to get it. Go ahead. Read that again. Read that part. Let's back up a little bit. Read line 263.
God. Line 263. That while they are private persons,
It said, while this person is private, they low, they have no rank, they have no position, they have no means and supply to really flex and show their real self. You don't really know that person too well. That person they seem equitable, they seem fair, they seem just, they seem, down to earth. Read on.
and in a low condition,
Go ahead.
because it is not in their power to indulge nature,
Go ahead.
nor to venture upon what they wish for.
Read on.
They are equitable and moderate.
They are what?
Equitable and moderate.
Read on.
And pursue nothing but what is just.
So can you see a person for their true self when they don't have nothing? No. No, you can't. You can't. They sound like a ride or die person, man. They're going to ride or die with you. They're going to be right next to you. They seem like they're that person that's going to be there for you no matter what, because they're in that low position. You don't really know somebody. Read on.
God. And bend their whole minds and labors that way.
Read on.
Then it is that they have their belief about the Most High,
Go ahead.
that He is present to all the actions
Now
of their
this
lives,
person has a conscience. Read on.
and that He does not only see the actions that are done, but clearly knows their thoughts also.
Read on.
Whence those actions do arise, but when once they are advanced into power and authority,
It says, but once they are advanced into power and authority, there's a change that happens in a man or a woman. Once they come from nothing and they start to smell themselves a little bit, they start to get a little success, they start to get arrogant, they start to get comfortable, they come out of a needy position.
Yeah, I'm no longer in critical need.
Yeah,
I'm no longer subject to other people or men.
right, because I don't have
I
to.
don't have to serve anyone.
Right.
I'm not under the authority of anyone else.
I got a little freedom.
Yeah.
I got a little liberty.
My situation is not resisting me.
That's not restraining me.
Yeah, restraining me.
Read on.
then they put off such notions.
It says, then all that justice, all that consciousness, all that I'm gonna do you right, because I'm about equity and fairness, and I got modesty. He said, man, once they get entitled, once they get a little rank, once they get a little authority, once they get a little flex, they got some ability, some power to flex. Then that's not even the same person. What happens?
Then they put off all such notions, and as if they were no others.
What the hell?
They put off such notions, right?
That's how you know. That's how you know it's tapped, bro.
That's how you know it's tapped.
I am. I'm gonna mess with you, right?
I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah, you know what I'm
trying to tell you.
Hey, it's tapped, bro. You brought it in? No, just you brought him in here. I'll mess with you. I'll mess with you. Read on.
God, it says, then they put off all such notions,
That's crazy though. Go
and
ahead.
as if they were no others than actors.
That's not cool. I have to, these notions have style.
Yeah, I don't gotta fake it. I don't gotta pretend to be somebody I'm not. Once I have the power and the ability not to be under scrutiny, read on. Then I can show my real colors, my true colors. Read on.
As if they were no other than actors upon a theater.
It said, man, you would think that, damn, how did they go from this person to this whole different person? He said, man, was they actors in a theater? Was you playing a part? Was you in a movie or something? You starred in a film?
He was a character.
Yeah, what role are you trying to play? Are you trying to land a gig? Wow, he said they look like nothing but actors. Like, where did this person come from? Their condition kept them in check. This is why David is saying, what he said in Proverbs 30. Keep me away from vanity and lies, because it does something to you. It inflates you and it changes you. It changes your character. Read on.
God. They disguise parts and manners and take up boldness.
It says, then actors upon a theater, their disguised parts and manners, and take up what?
Boldness.
And they take up boldness and what?
Insolence.
Get the definition of insolence. He says, then they become bold and they become insolent. Get that definition.
I grew up with a homeboy just like that.
Insolent, a proud and haughty, with contempt of others.
It says, then I become proud and I become haughty with contempt of what?
Others.
Now I'm proud and I'm arrogant and I start despising who?
Others.
I don't got to respect them because I don't have to respect them. I don't have to respect you because I don't need you.
That's a key one. I
Yeah.
don't need you.
I don't need
It's
you.
more than you.
People act different when they don't need you.
When they don't need you. Now you can see the mind frame. Watch the camera. Now you can see the mind frame. Shalom. Now you can see what's going on in the inward thoughts. Now that suppressed character that they've been the whole time, it comes out. That's why David is saying, man, don't ever let me get to that arrogant side of me. Don't ever let me produce an arrogance or a haughtiness. He understands that's a bad combination, bro. That vanity and lies, them two together, you're destined to fail. Read on.
And a contempt of both human and divine laws.
Now I have a contempt for who?
Contempt a both human and divine laws.
I have a disdain and a disregard for human laws, basic humanity, being humane. This person is married. This person right here has a family. This person right here is dealing with this situation. Basic laws of being humane become violated. Then the laws of the Father, which are divine laws, spiritual laws, become an option.
Yeah. It's optional because of my condition changed. My condition changed, so I don't have unconditional love of the Father. I have conditional love to the Father. So when I'm low, I'm in order. When I'm high, I don't gotta be in order. When I'm up, I don't gotta follow. I get to flex. Read on. You gotta finish that.
God, that was all of
Yeah, keep on. You finish that. Keep it going. I'm sorry. I said 264, but keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. 265. And this at a time when they were especially stand in need of piety and righteousness, because they are then most of all exposed to envy.
So when you get vanity and you get arrogance, you're exposed to what?
Envy.
Then you want what other people got. When you become arrogant and vain, then you feel like I'm entitled. Then you're exposed to envy. Now you know what? How come he gets to have that woman?
And look at my position.
And look at my position. Don't she know who I am?
And then I had a homeboy just like that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She deserves someone
She
better.
deserves a better man.
Someone like me.
I got somebody just in mind.
yeah.
Read on.
God. And they think and all they say are in the view of all men.
Go ahead.
Then it is that they become so insolent.
Once again, they become what?
So insolent.
So
in
that
their actions.
that definition of insolent one more time.
God. Proud and haughty, with contempt of others, overbearing, domineering in power.
Damn, bro.
Domineering. Overbearing.
Where they get this mind from, though?
Where was that at when you were herding sheep?
Yeah. When you was at your mama's house.
All right.
Exactly, bro.
When you was in your daddy's house. Where was that spirit at? Oh, you was homeless. You didn't have no house.
It's a real situation.
Where was that spirit at? When you was couch surfing.
Yeah.
Where's that spirit at? But it just shows you that men and women have conditional love. As soon as they elevate out of their tragedies, out of their suffering and affliction, then the real person come out. It's like a jack in a box.
Yeah.
You just crank the wheel and then pop, little clown come out. with a spring on his neck?
God.
You know what I'm saying? Just pop out the box.
That's the real me.
Yeah, where does this guy come from? Where does this person come from? Man, I thought, surprise. Yeah, I thought you was somebody else, man. I thought you was really down to earth. But people you don't know who they are until they get in a position of comfort. Then you can see who they are. Read on.
God. Then it is they become so insolent in their actions, as though the Most High saw them no longer.
It says that the Most High saw them what?
No longer.
So now you got a person that's about to make himself a problem to the Most High, because he no longer has the fear of the Lord. He no longer has the idea or the mind frame that the Most High is going to check me for what I'm doing. This is that insolent behavior and insolent mind. This is what comes from an insolent mind. That arrogance, that haughtiness, mixed with vanity, leads to envy, which sets me up to pulling somebody else's woman. Sets me up for failure. Because I want something that I can't have. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because the Most High don't see me no way. Wow. Yes, sir. You got your hand up?
Oh, is that also tied to like covetousness?
It is. That's exactly what it is. It ties exactly into covetousness. Covetous just means to desire or to want, to lust after something. It could be anything. A strong desire.
But don't the definition fix on it being someone else's though?
Not always. It could be covetousness. Just have a strong lust, or a strong want. Doesn't necessarily have to be. When you lust after another man's woman, then that's adultery. Just to think on that is adultery. All right. So read that last part again.
God. It says, then it is that they become so insolent in their actions, as though the Most High saw them no longer, or were afraid of them because of their power.
They have the idea that the Most High scared of me. Wow.
I'm the boss.
Wow.
Oh,
You know what I might do.
Yeah. The Most High better watch out. Wow. Man, you really stepping in some dangerous water.
People better watch out.
You got hella boldness. Read on.
Verse 266. And whatsoever it is.
No, that's it. That's what we want to just get that point. Now let's go back to Proverbs 30 and 8. So we understand why David is asking that the Most High don't let this spirit come next to him.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8 reads, remove far from me.
That's why he said, man, get me the hell away from what?
From vanity and lies.
Go ahead.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
He said, don't give me neither one. Don't give me poverty, don't give me riches. And he's going to explain. Read on.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
He said, just give me what I need, man. Because you know what happens? People change when conditions change. People don't stay the same. You don't see people for who they really are until they get in a financial position or a position of freedom or liberty, or they don't have to be under anybody. They don't have to be obedient. You don't really see people when they're up, when they're high, when they're on high. They change. We just read that. But also when people low, you really can't see them either, because they become extreme, and they start justifying ill behavior. He's going to explain. Read on.
Lest I be full and deny thee.
He said, and I become full, and I do what?
Deny thee.
And said, when a man get full, he does what?
And say.
No, he denies the Most High.
Okay, so
when a man is full.
When I don't need people, I treat them differently.
Yep.
When I don't need the Most High on a physical, carnal level,
spiritual level either,
I treat him differently. I don't feel bad anymore. I'm not insecure anymore.
I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty.
Guilty anymore. I'm not in poverty anymore. I don't need nothing really. I don't need anybody really. That's the real person. That person, after those conditions are set, reveal what's in the heart. I love what you're saying, bro. And it leads towards that gratification or that intensifying of lust.
Yeah, it does. It does, because I have no restraint. Because for one,
I need a sport.
For one, if we say once I'm full, people do what?
Lest I be full and deny thee.
What does that mean, to deny the Most High?
It's crazy.
I don't need you no more.
I don't need you.
Stop dependency.
It's not.
I can take it from here.
I got it from here.
I got myself you better.
Yeah, I'm good where I'm at. That's a disease, but that word I'm good, man. I'm good.
That's not
That's a hell of a word,
not
man.
good.
I'm good. I'm Gucci.
I'm Gucci.
Yeah,
Gucci, bro?
that's a hell of a word, man.
Badly,
Yeah, I'm up one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's down one right now.
Yeah, so now that's why David is saying, man, don't ever give me the spirit.
Come.
Don't ever put me up too high, nor bring me down too low. He said, just give me what I need because it keeps me the same person. I don't want to change my character and my disposition because of the condition changes, which happens to most men. Read.
And deny thee, and say, who is the Lord?
Who is the Lord, man?
Wow.
What Lord? Oh, you know who I am?
Wow.
I can do what I want to do. I see it, want it, buy it, own it. Factory, flown it. I can do that.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we say, right? I can do that. See it, I want it, buy it, own it. That's mine. So I don't know the whole thing, but you know what I'm saying?
That was enough.
But the hook is enough. I can do that. Yeah, that's what man say. You know, so that's the normal spirit in a man. Read on.
Or, lest I be poor,
They said, or lest I be poor, and man be too low, then what?
and steal, and
Then I start stealing, and I start justifying the thievery.
Start lying.
Start lying.
Yep.
Saying, well, you know what? I gotta take it because ain't nobody giving it to me.
Desperate.
I got one way. I only know one way. I gotta get mine. I'm gonna get mine. You better get yours.
I'm gonna tap you now.
I'm gonna take yours.
I gotta get mine, so I'm gonna take yours.
Exactly. That's the mind frame. Read on.
lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my power in vain.
Then if I become that desperate, and I'm start stealing and justifying it, then I'm saying the Most High don't help me. I gotta help myself. So I'm still gonna empower myself. There's still a detachment from the Father. So either way, you're detached from the Most High. Whether you're too high up or whether you're too low down, you can become low down and dirty.
Yeah.
You're still detached from the Most High. Either way. So what he said, David is saying, man, just give me what you think I need to function. I'm cool with that. Now read that again, now with that understanding.
Come, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord?
No, read verse up one.
Come, remove far from me vanity and lies.
Go ahead.
Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient.
Stop. He said, feed me with food that's what?
Convenient.
Convenient, bro. What does that mean? Hebrews 13:5. Go there. What does that mean? Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Somebody read that. Next brother.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness.
Read on.
Covetousness.
That's why to lust after something is covetousness. To want something real bad. Read on.
What was that, 15:5?
13.
Hebrews 13 and verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have.
It says, and be content with what?
Such things as ye have.
Now, we know what content is, but some of us may not know what content is. So get the definition of content.
You said content?
Yes.
Content. No Webster's 1828, definition number 1. To satisfy the mind.
He says, let me be what?
To
Content. Let my mind be satisfied. That's why David said, man, just please feed me with the food that's convenient for me. Give me what I need to function. I don't need nothing more, nothing less. I just need to be satisfied with what you give me. I'm okay with what you gave me. If what you gave me is a woman, then let me be content with that woman. If the Most High gave me a man, a husband, let me be content with that husband. Let me not start looking out beyond what's not mine, or start looking outside of I need more than what the Most High is giving me.
I'm not satisfied.
I'm not satisfied. Because content means what?
Content, to satisfy the mind.
Go ahead.
To make quiet.
To make it, I'm at peace with what the Most High gives me. To make quiet. So I'm not out looking, running the streets with a flashlight, looking for something else that's beyond what the Most High has given me. Read on.
So as to stop complaint.
Or so as to stop what?
Complaint.
I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I'm cool with what I got. I'm not going to complain. Whatever the Most High has given me, that's who I got. But if I'm not content, then I'm covetous. If I'm not content. Now I'm starting to look out to see what I'm missing. Or see what I think I deserve. And I'm not satisfied with what the Most High gave me. So read that again. What you got? You had your hand up?
Yeah, even just thinking about it in Spanish, the word is contento. It says contento, like that, como tengo, like I have.
I have, tengo, yeah.
And then, so I have I'm happy with what I have.
I'm happy. Say it again.
Happy with my
Contento is
content.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
content.
con is with. Contento, the tengo is be the last part, the suffix part.
Mm-hmm.
So you're happy with what you got.
It's
what
like
the Most High gave you.
Okay, I got you. So it's like contengo, like but I
Yeah.
have, but contento. Yeah, what you got?
Salaki for going back to Proverbs 30 verse 9, but I'm trying to understand when he says, and take the name of my God in vain. How is that possible? Because I read the Ten Commandments and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I don't disobey these Ten Commandments, but the third one, to not take it in vain.
If you look at the context and what he said it in, he said, lest I steal, right? And what? Read that part in verse 9.
Come, verse 9. Lest I be full and deny thee.
Read on.
And say, who is the Lord?
So if I'm wealthy and I'm up, my disposition towards the Most High and people changes. It changes my character. Read on.
Who is the Lord?
Read on.
Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain.
So I'm saying by stealing, I'm taking matters in my own hands. Didn't Christ say, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live? Wasn't he telling Satan in Luke chapter 4, Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 5, I believe? He was telling them, listen, man shall not live by bread alone. So I'm going to be satisfied with the words of the Most High. But if I'm not satisfied with the Most High give me, I'm going to go stealing. I'm going on a rampage. Then I'm taking the Most High's name in vain. I'm going to say that the Most High is not a power that should be trusted. That's how I take his name in vain.
That's why it's my action.
I don't have to depend on him. I got to depend on me. So now you just nullified the Most High altogether. Now you just made the Most High irrelevant. Because now you take matters in your own hand. That's exactly what Satan wanted Christ to do. He said, if thou be the Son of God, turn this stone into bread. Then his response was what?
Thou shalt not tempt the Lord of thy
No, it says, thou shalt not live by bread alone.
No, but by every word that proceeds.
Right, you know what he was saying?
God.
I'm not gonna take matters into my own hands.
Mhm.
See, once you start taking matters into your own hands, then you make the Most High obsolete. Then why even pray to him if you won't take everything in your own hands? You understand?
So
God.
So it's not just saying like, damn.
Yeah, it's not just saying, damn this, damn that, whatever. It's saying that you make the Most High useless through your actions, through your behavior. Because your behavior is exhibiting unbelief. All right? So, finish where we was at. Go back to where we was at.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness.
That's why it said, let your conversation be without covetousness. Read on.
And be content.
He said, and be what?
Be content.
Be contento. I hope I said that right. Contento.
Contento.
Contento. Be contento. Be satisfied with what you got. Be happy. Don't complain at what you have. Read.
With such things as ye have.
And with such. So what about your wife? You should be contento with your wife. What about your husband? You should be contento with your husband. You should be satisfied. Yeah, I'm satisfied at what I got. Otherwise, I'm complaining about what I got. Now I'm opening the door for something else. And we already know the topic of the class.
This is crazy because it's like the prequel.
Yeah.
The prequel to that spirit.
Yeah. Now, we in verse, how do you know what he's talking about? Read up one verse so we can find out what is he talking about, be content with.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable.
Oh, hold on, stop. What are you supposed to be content with?
Marriage.
So what are we talking about? We talking about food?
Marriage.
We talking about houses?
Marriage.
You talking about you ain't happy with the car you got?
Marriage.
The sofa is old. You've been having it for 20 years.
Marriage.
The mattress, the springs ain't even. They poking out the mattress. They don't even hold you up no more.
Marriage.
No, he's talking about this. Your shoes is worn out.
Marriage.
Be content with the size refrigerator you got.
Marriage.
No, bro. He's talking about what?
Marriage.
That's how you know what he's talking about. You know the problem is people aren't happy with people. That's the problem. Because they're not satisfied with what the Most High gives them. They're not contento. I like that word. Contento. I gotta get it. I gotta keep saying it so I can get it. Yeah. So people are not satisfied with what the Most High gave them as a partner. They're complaining at the Lord for their partner. I'm not happy with what I got in my marriage. I can see something wrong with my marriage. That's why David says, give me the food that's convenient for me. You know what he's saying? Man, if whatever you give me, I'm cool with it. But I don't like this woman. I don't like her height. I don't like her size. I don't like her body odor. I don't like her foot size. Her foot bigger than mine. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? People be, she got crooked teeth. I don't like her hair. It ain't flowing. It's dried up. She always looking like she's sleepy. She got the moo-moo on. What's that little bag that women put on their head to go to sleep? Man, I hate the things, bro. I can't stand them things, man. She wearing a bonnet, man. I just can't stand it. Me personally, I'm just saying, I can't stand them things, man. They like you just checking the mail or something. You ain't got no business. You know what I'm saying? Like you just finna go check the mail and come back in. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like you just finna get your purse out the car or something. Like you just don't be in public like that, man. That's not a I don't even know what to call that. Yeah, like a shower cap, like a curl bag from the 80s.
You go to Walmart with them.
Yeah, like you still trying to keep your hair moist or something.
It's not comely.
Yeah, it's not comely. That's just a personal thing. But whatever it is, I don't like it, so I'm gonna complain about it, and so I'm making my complaint to the Most High, because the Most High hear every thought. So I'm not satisfied with the Most High give me. That's why it says, be content with what you have, man. He's talking about marriage, man. Read on.
You want verse 4?
Yeah, read verse 4 one more time, all of it though.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
And the bed under what?
Undefiled.
So now, if I'm not satisfied, what do?
Undefile your bed.
No, I defile my bed. I defile the bedroom because I'm not content. I'm not satisfied with what the Most High give me. Now, obviously, the Most High is showing what? There's some arrogance involved. There's some haughtiness involved. Now, okay, you got a little bit of vanity going on. You telling the Most High, I need more, I need better than what you gave me. It's not sufficient enough. He's not man enough. I need a real man, but you got a man. But you need a real man. He don't make enough money. I be watching little skits on them little YouTube shorts, whatever they are.
Yeah.
How to catch a gold digger. Dude try to get the number. Like, no, I told you no. Like, why are you still standing here? He pull up in a Ferrari. Where you going? You want my number still?
Is that your car?
Is that your card? No, I don't want your number. You know what? It just show how people change because they see, or the one that the dude pulled the dude holding hands with his woman, and he snatched the other girl's woman because he had a better car. I said, man, And then she got in the car, drove around with the guy. Then the guy said, you know, you're not a good woman. Get out my car. Yeah, you saw that one?
I
Yeah.
love that one.
Yeah, they say you're not.
That was a good
They say
one.
you're not a good woman. You're not
Justice,
you're not a good woman because you did old boy bad. You did him dirty. So get out my car. You got exposed. She said your car's nice, but you're not. Oh! What about your dirty self?
What about you?
You left the dude hanging to have movie tickets, and then you told him, well, he got a better car than you do.
Yeah.
You know what? If you riding in the bucket with your lovey, with your little snuggle buddy, and you don't have no AC, and the car is hot as hell, and you got that 80-mile-an-hour AC,
She just might love you.
you know what? And she's sweating and fanning, but you know, you look over, she in a full-blown sweat, and you trying to drive faster, trying to cool off, or you got that fan that got the plug in the AC, knowing damn well that's just blowing hot air. It's just roasted rotisserie chicken. So you just cooking her in the car, but she's still riding with you. Still having a good time. Hey, bro. The baby know that's a good spirit. Kids know. Baby laughing too, because baby know that's real love. Hey, it happens like that. I've seen brothers, you know, come from nothing, having wrecked, broke down, busted up. Talk brothers in the camp having busted up, broke down cars, but their mind is right. They might not have the fundamentals and the ability and the surplus to satisfy, you know, a new car. You know, the car's old, it's busted up, the seats are tore up, the styrofoam's coming out, but the car works. But you know, this man's mind is in the right place. But somebody will say, you know what? He's not doing enough. He's not man enough. He doesn't got me in a comfortable place like I see other women in a comfortable place. But the Most High gave you a good man. But your mind is, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with this man. So that's why it says marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled, right?
God.
Read that again. It's marriage of yeah, read it, verse 4.
Verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers.
But who?
But whoremongers.
But who?
Whoremongers.
Read on.
And adulterers.
Read on.
The Most High will judge.
It said, but whoremongers and adulterers, they said the Most High will do what?
Will judge.
Because you know why? You're not happy with what you got. That's why the Most High got it out for you. Because you'd rather entertain something that doesn't need to be entertained. You'd rather put your mind on covetousness. You're not satisfied on what the Most High gave you. You're looking for more. And you're not happy. And you complaining too much. So instead of the Most High blessing you, the Most High said, I got something for you. I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you based on your judgment. I'm going to judge you based on how you look at people. Because you see the worst in people, and you're ungrateful. You're unthankful. Everybody thinks the grass is always greener on the other side. There's always somebody better for me. Yeah, it might be. But you know what? At what cost? At the judgment of the Most High? You willing to put yourself against the Most High to think that there's somebody better? You can. It's a costly mistake. That's why I said adulterers and whoremongers. He said the Most High will judge, because I'm never satisfied. I'm always chasing more. I'm looking for extra. Read on.
Verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness.
And they said that's why he says let your conversation be without what?
Covetousness.
Stop talking about what you don't have and who's better than who.
Yeah.
Why don't you be happy with what you got? Why don't you be satisfied? You know, once David found out that Bathsheba was taken, what should have David done? Left it alone. On to another one if the Most High see fit. If the Most High say the same, the Most High will bless him. Most High will bless him if the Most High say the same, right? I was just looking at the Ungers. You had the Ungers?
Yeah, all the.
You had the Ungers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have one.
I got Ungers.
You got Ungers? Is it this one right here?
I got an Ungers.
You got Ungers?
You got one, bro.
It's in my car.
Go get it real quick. Go get the Ungers real quick. I was just looking at this the other day.
right there.
Check the back. I know we have one up here. I don't know.
We'll look at the papers.
Look, check the back real quick. See if we got it real fast. But he said, if David would have just stopped where he was at, instead of saying, you know what, I'm good, man. If the Most High didn't give me that woman, and that woman was given to another man, then I'm okay with that. It's not mine. Yes, sir.
The conversation starts with your thoughts.
It all starts in the mind, right? We know that all uncleanness comes out of the hearts of men. It comes out of the minds of men. All of it does. We know that from Mark 7:20. So we're not going there, but we know where it comes from. Matter of fact, we buying time to get this Ungers. Read that anyway. Mark 7:20. Yeah, because I really want to just get this point real quick. Yeah, read that.
Mark 7, verse 20. And he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man.
He said, that which cometh out of a man does what?
Defileth the man.
Go ahead. I got it down yet.
Come.
Read.
Verse 21. From within, out of the heart of men, proceed the evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, and evil eye.
Read.
Blasphemy, pride, foolishness, all these evil things.
He said all these what?
Evil things.
Notice how covetousness was in there? Notice how adultery was in there? They go together. He said all these evil things what?
Come from within.
From where?
Come from within.
From within where? From the mind. It comes from a person's thought process. How many wives? Count real quick how many wives David had right here. No, yeah, right here.
Come.
This is Unger's Bible Dictionary. David, right? How many wives he had?
Wives of.
Just count.
It says
right here.
1.
Yeah.
Abiam of Jezreel. 1. Abigail of Carmel. 2. Shiliab or Danielle. 3.
Yeah, keep going.
Ammon. 4. Haggith. 5. Micaiah. 6. Abital. 7. Eglah. 8. Michal. 9.
Right here?
No.
No, that's his kids that from those women. Right here.
Oh yeah.
Ibnar.
Ibnar. Elishna. There's a lot of them, bro. Lephalet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishamiah, Eliba, Belida, Elates. It's hard.
Sharonda.
And
Kashida.
Jerry Ma. And was that one also?
No, that's the yeah.
About 3 Kims.
Yeah, that's
Mahala.
Ramon. Yeah.
Mahala.
That's hilarious.
And then Bathsheba.
Yeah, and Bathsheba. So he had like 20 wives, man.
Oh, he took that woman and married her?
Yeah, but yes, David stole that woman.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
So that's showing he wasn't content, but he was covetous.
He was covetous. He was covetous because he had all these women. He didn't need all that.
Yeah.
But he wanted what? He wanted what he couldn't have. And when you're not content on what you have, you want what somebody else got. Because that envy is close. Vanity brings envy. Envy is the neighbor of vanity.
Yeah.
And that vanity is that arrogance. I get to have what I want. I get what I want. That's why David said, don't raise me up too high and don't bring me down too low. Just keep me in my lane. Let me stay in my lane. Let me stay in my lane. Because you know what? If this is where the Most High got me at, that's where He got me at. Let me stay in my lane. But men's minds, they say, well, how come? What if? I deserve better. This person ain't meant for me, ain't good for me. This person's busted, disgusted. I need to level up. I settled.
Upgrade.
Yeah, I settled. I settled.
That's a big one.
I settled for this. I'm actually settling. Because you don't meet me at my level. You're not on my level. Well, you know what? You never know what this man level gonna be at, or you never know what this woman's level gonna be at. You know, that's why they have stories as a kid like the Ugly Duckling. Those are children's books to let you know that the Ugly Duckling turned to a swan. That she turned into a swan when you teach her. She can be whatever you don't like, but she'll be a swan if you teach her though.
That's right. We don't want to put in.
You know what? And then you think in your mind, nobody gonna want you. Old and decrepit. Everybody gonna want you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You done passed your prime. Everybody gonna want you. That's what your mouth say. But you know what? That's because you're despising this person. Let's get back to the verse. So let that go in Hebrews. Let that go in Hebrews. Go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 40, verse 18.
Ecclesiastes 40 and verse 18.
Good luck. Good luck. Let me put this in real quick. Read that.
Now, it says to labor and to be content.
It says to labor, take yourself to work. Man. Keep your business going. Go to work to labor and be content. Read on.
With that a man hath.
It says be content with what?
With that a man hath.
Why don't you be satisfied at what you got? You know what the truth of it is? Man is never satisfied. That's the problem. Man is never, and when I say man, I'm talking about man and woman together. They're never satisfied. They always want more. Or they always want what somebody else got. Yep. Or they always think, I deserve better. I can do better. You know what? Kevin Samuels was great for putting people in check and making them get a dose of reality. and getting beside themselves. Both for men and women. He did it for both men and women. He had a great evaluation of, why don't you go back to that man that just had that job as a bus driver? Oh, because you make 6 figures, but he's a bus driver. So what does that got to do with it? Because you make 6 figures, and he's a bus driver. Now, we probably not going to get to this today, but we're going to take our time and break this down, so it's got to be a part 2 to this class. This is a statistic about infidelity. This is a little old. It's 2022, so it's not
super up to date.
It's not up to date. Yeah. Now. Yeah. You know these numbers gonna be worse.
Yeah.
You know the numbers gonna be worse in the 2023. They get worse every year. Let's get this right quick. We gotta take our time on this. One thing I want to show in this is that it had nothing to do with money. No, hold on. We're gonna say these stats. We're gonna say these stats. Let's keep going, because I'm gonna get to this. I'll get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's keep going. Where we at? Ecclesiastes 40 and 18. Let's read that one more time.
Ecclesiastes 40 and verse 18. To labor and to be content, with that a man hath.
It says to labor and to be content with what?
With that a man hath.
Man, you're supposed to take yourself to work every day, come home and be happy with what you got at the house, man. Be satisfied, man. Be happy. Stop tripping about what the Most High gave you. He gave you what he gave you. Are you okay with it? If not, you got a problem. Read on.
Is a sweet life.
It's a what?
A sweet life.
Man, that's a sweet life, man. You got somebody that actually want to wash your funky drawers. That's a sweet life. Yeah. Everybody got that morning face. With the damn frog in their throat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How'd you sleep? Hey, but you know what?
You got to snore.
Yeah, you got a snorer, a tutor in the bed. Hey, you tooting in this bed. You know what? You know. So what he said is, go to work, come home and be happy with what you got. Why are you complaining? You know, you're telling the Most High what you gave is not good enough. Now I'm vaunting. Now I'm arrogant. Now I'm haughty, which I don't understand. I'm close to vanity, and vanity is close to envy, and envy is close to what? Insolence.
Yeah.
Now I'm becoming bold. Now I'm insolent. Now I'm gonna start taking what I want without no shame. And then I defy the Most High. Then I go against the Most High. Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 40 verse 18. To labor and to be content with that a man hath.
Read on.
Is a sweet life.
Yeah, that's a sweet life, man. You got a good life, man. You know what? Inherit that good life. Enjoy it. Read on.
But he that findeth a treasure is above them both.
Yeah, man, you know what? I found a treasure. That treasure is wisdom, though. That treasure is wisdom. You know, that's that treasure. That treasure is wisdom. That's a sweet life. But you know what else men think is sweet? You stay in Ecclesiastes and jump over to verse 23 and read verse 17. Stay in Ecclesiastes. Read chapter 23, verse 17. This is what some men think is a sweet life. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23, verse 17. It says, all bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
It said, but all bread is what?
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
You know who else take a sweet life? What some men think a sweet life is?
All bread.
Chasing women.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing the flesh. They think that's a sweet life. Looking for lust. They think that's a sweet life. I gotta get on. I gotta add a notch on my belt. I gotta have, show what kind of man I am. Some men think that's a sweet life. That's not a sweet life. That is not a sweet life, because you're gonna be judged by that. The Most High said, whoremongers and adulterers shall be judged. Most High gonna get you for that. It's not a sweet life. You got another thing coming if it's a sweet life. Now let all that go. And go back to Josephus chapter 7 book 7 chapter 7 paragraph 1.
God. In the Josephus, book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 1, how David fell in love with Bathsheba and slew her husband, Uriah, for which he is reproved by Nathan.
What line are you? I'm sorry.
Paragraph what? Paragraph 1, right?
Paragraph 1, book 191.
Is it 19?
No, what line?
Okay, it's 130. Paragraph.
130.
Yes, sir.
Line 130.
Line 130.
Line 130.
130.
Oh, you didn't start there. I'm sorry.
Repeat where you at in Josephus
I
again.
see. You're reading up.
Book 7, chapter 7, page 191.
Mm-hmm.
Paragraph
1.
Line 130.
Line 130.
All right.
You ready?
You
Yeah.
read it above that. That's what threw me off. I'm sorry. The water.
Yeah, go ahead.
But David fell now into a very grievous sin,
Go ahead.
though he were otherwise naturally a righteous and a religious man,
Go ahead.
and one that firmly observed the laws of our fathers. For when late in the evening he took a view round him from the roof of his royal palace, where he used to walk at that hour, he saw a woman washing herself in her own house. She was one of extraordinary beauty, and therein surpassed all other women.
It says there and surpass what?
All other women.
Now, we talked about what David should have done, but he didn't do. We'll go to Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 6. We had started reading this a little while ago. We're going to come back and finish this a little bit. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 23, and now we're going to read verse 6.
Time. Ecclesiastes chapter 23 and verse 6. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Let not greediness.
That's why it said let not what?
Greediness.
He said let not what?
Greediness
Go ahead.
of the belly.
It said don't let greediness of the belly, meaning what? What does that represent? Greediness of the belly.
Your appetite.
Not content.
Your appetite. Your passion. Your lust. He said, let not greediness of the what?
Of the belly, nor lust of the flesh,
Nor lust of the flesh. Do what?
take hold of me.
That's why David is saying, man, don't give me vanity and don't give me lies. Solomon said, don't give me greediness of the belly, don't give me the lust of the flesh. Don't give me these things. I don't want nothing to do with these two things. I don't want it. He said, don't give them to me. Read on.
And give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind.
And he says, please don't give me over to an impudent mind. Now, we read the definition of insolent earlier, but let's get the definition of impudent. Impudent. He said, do not give me an impudent mind. Definition of impudent.
Definition of impudent, it says shameless, wanting modesty.
It says shameless, wanting modesty, meaning I'm lacking modesty. I don't have no shame. Now, how did I get to the point where I don't have no shame?
Question.
You deny the Most High.
How?
Pride.
Pride. Through arrogance.
And also
Pride
idleness.
with the shame.
But idleness just leads to evil, wickedness. Idleness teaches much wickedness. So I got into wickedness because I was idle. But the wickedness that men inherit is the fact that they change their disposition. They become bolder as their condition changes. As their ability to supply the means of their flesh, then you start seeing their real character. Men and women, they start changing. So he's saying that this impudent mind is a what? What is the definition of impudent?
It says shameless, wanting modesty,
I lack modesty and I'm shameless. I don't got no shame. Read on.
bold with contempt of others.
It said, damn, same thing we just read a minute ago. Bold with contempt of others. Same thing as insolent, right? I start treating people with contempt. Particularly who? The person the Most High gave me. The person that I'm married to, I start treating them with contempt. And then I stop having shame. I don't care what they feel. I don't care if you mad or sad. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I don't care if you cry yourself to sleep. So what? I do what I want to do. That's an impudent mind. Read it. So read the verse again.
Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha chapter 23 verse 6. Let not the greediness of the belly nor the lust of the flesh take hold of me.
Now, Nathaniel, read Ecclesiastes 26:11 real quick. Since you had that definition of impudent, which means shameless, lacking modesty, bold with contempt of others.
Saucy.
So yeah, it says saucy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, saucy.
Got it. Ecclesiastes 26 verse 11.
I got another definition that said mouthy. It said mouthy.
That's what it say.
Not haughty,
Hold on.
but soft.
I had a definition that says back talk, mouth, sauce, sass, or cheek.
So cheap.
Yeah, you talking smack, man. When a person, it said that's when a person got an impudent mind. He said they talk back, they got a big mouth, they got a lot of sauce, they're sassy, and they cheeky, they talking. They full of words. Now Ecclesiastes 26:11 says what?
God, Ecclesiastes chapter 26 verse 11. Watch over the impudent eye,
Why?
and marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Because once a person gets to this mind frame, what are they bound to do?
Trespass against thee.
They're going to trespass against you. They're going to violate you. When a person is bold, full of back talk, full of mouth, they're saucy, a lot of sass, it won't be long before they trespass and break your trust. Because they're already disrespectful. Because they're bold, and with their boldness, it's combined with the contempt. They got a disgust of you.
Wow.
They got a disgust of you because you're not what they want. So now, because you're not what they want, it's only a matter of time before they trespass you and stab you in the back. You see how it goes together?
Is that like how you can sabotage a relationship?
Well, through my lust. I can't. Overall,
Like that person
oh
was.
yeah, overall, I sabotage my relationship because of the multitude of things that and definitions that we're bringing out that he's describing. That's in this person's mind frame. When this person is not content on what they have, when they're envious, they're covetous, they're greedy of gain, they're full of lust. That this person is looking outward. They're looking at down. Man, you know what? Full of vanity, I deserve more. When a person got all this going on in their mind, then the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to do you dirty.
That's next.
That's next.
I gotta violate.
I gotta violate. It's only a matter of
I gotta
time.
violate.
I'm gonna do you dirty because you know what the truth of it is? I'm not satisfied with you. Why is that? Because I'm not satisfied with what the Most High gave me. That's why David said, man, give me the food that's sufficient, that's convenient for me. Feed me with what's convenient for me. Whatever you give me, I'm cool with that. I'll take what you give me. Nothing more, nothing less. But because the unsatisfactory, the unthankfulness of men's mind leads them to disrespecting people around them. Now they full of mouth. Now they got a lot of back talk. They're both insolent and impudent. They're bold and disrespectful. Right? Let that go in Ecclesiastes 26:11. It says it's only a matter of time before she violates you or he violates you, trespass against you. It's only a matter of time. Because they got too many elements about them that's wrong. They got too many unfixed errors about themselves. So now that ain't gonna hurt your feelings. They'll stand and don't be surprised. Oh, just surprised. I gotta read one page of the statistics. Right here.
Infidelity statistics 2022. How much cheating is going on? Being cheated on is a gut-wrenching experience. Nobody wants it to happen to them, and few of us would even imagine that the person we love and care about could stab us in the back so brutally.
Yeah. Now it said we don't. It said, but cheating happens.
But cheating happens.
Now it said so it says marvel not if she trespass against you. Why are you so surprised? Why are you acting like you're so? Why are we so surprised? It said nobody wants it to happen to them, and few of us would even imagine that people we love and care about could stab us in the back so brutally. They stabbed Christ in the back. You think it's not gonna happen to you? When we get into these stats, you're gonna find out that it's more prevalent than what you think. Read this right here.
Okay. It says another S.
What does the number say?
What do the numbers say? The overall numbers of infidelity are alarmingly high. Some websites have pushed unverified numbers claiming about 40% of unmarried relationships and 25% of marriages see at least one incident of infidelity.
So what that means is people that are just shacking up, you have a higher risk of infidelity because you made no commitment anyway. But if you made a commitment with a person, you're less likely to be cheated on. If you made a real commitment with somebody and took responsibility and accountability for this person's life, you're less likely to be cheated on. Read on.
It says, right here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right here.
Another estimate from the Journal of Marriage and Divorce concludes that a mind-blowing 70% of married Americans cheat at least once in their marriage.
70%, bro.
7 out of 10.
That's high.
That's high.
That's high, bro. Even if it is once, that's still high. That one is heavy. But read on. Got some other ones.
According to the General Social Survey, this is the general social survey.
Yep.
20% of men cheat compared to 13% of women.
So,
according to LA Intelligence Detective Agency, the numbers are somewhat higher. They write that 30 to 60% of married couples will cheat at least once in the marriage. 74% of men and 68% of women admit they cheat if it was guaranteed they'd never get caught. Wow. If it was guaranteed.
If it was guaranteed that it was.
That was a question or that was a reality?
That was a statement based on stats. If you knew you wouldn't get caught, would you cheat? That was the number. They said 64. That's why I said it was last year.
But that was a question that was answered.
Yes, through the survey.
Okay.
74% of men and 68% of women admit they'd cheat if it was guaranteed they'd never get caught. Them numbers are high, bro.
Yes, they are.
60% of affairs start with close friends
Or
co-workers.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
about to say. At the job.
yeah. Read on.
An average affair lasts 2 years.
Now you had that Good Morning America.
Oh yeah.
T.J. Holmes and Amy Robot.
Yeah.
They got busted. The Judite dude and the Edomite woman. They got busted on Good Morning America. Both of them had something going on, and had something else going. Me and Mrs. Jones,
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones, we got a thing going on.
They're laughing together.
Yeah, they laughing on air. That chemistry was too good on Good Morning
That
America.
wasn't just they got the job.
Yeah, that chemistry like, man, they finishing each other's sentences. Man, this is a great chemistry on the co-hosts.
Huh?
These are magnificent co-hosts
good.
and anchors. How do they know each other so well?
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason.
Same thing with
Yeah.
the Boston coach.
Yeah, Emi Udoka. He
Yeah.
used to play for the
He
Spurs.
played for the Spurs.
Yeah, he had the staff, coaches.
Great relationship.
Hey, Phil Jackson, same thing with him too, man.
They gotta put him out there.
Yeah, but like I said, this is more common than what we have to deal with this because I'm not saying that we got to deal with this because it's a fact in the reality, and you can't be shocked if it happens. That's why Christ said, go to Luke 17:1 real quick. Luke 17:1, and somebody else get Romans 4:25.
I get Romans 4:25.
You got Romans 4:25. Somebody else get Luke 17:1.
He's not just saying that in a humorous way. He's actually saying that in a teachable way. That you shouldn't be shocked.
Yes.
Wow.
Because the spirit of the person is already off.
Yeah.
He's judging the spirit of a person. If a person is impudent, then if they're bold, they don't got no shame, they're full of mouth, they're talking back all the time, it's only a matter of time that they stab you in the back. It says, watch over the impudent eye. It says, and marvel not if she trespass against you. So it's only a matter of time before somebody cross each other because there's no respect there within that relationship. There's a contempt or disgust for one another. So, and part of it is because I'm not happy with what the Most High gave me. Read that.
Luke 17:1. Then said he unto the disciples, it is impossible, but that offenses will come.
So guess what? You may be in that statistic of where it happens to you. So what? You were warned. It happens. Not saying it's okay, but it happens. Not saying it's justified or it should have happened, but it happens. Not saying you deserved it, but it happens. You're going to get offended some way, how, shape, form, one way or another. You're going to be offended by somebody. Somebody's going to cross you one way or another. But Romans chapter 4 verse 25 says what?
Romans chapter 4 verse 25. It says, who was delivered?
Christ. That's talking about Christ. Read on.
Who was delivered?
Christ was delivered. He died. Read on. He was crucified. Read.
For our offenses.
It's for whose offenses?
Our offenses.
So why did Christ die anyway?
For our offenses.
So that you could be offended and get over it. Deal with it. Even if you're the offender, so you could not be judged because the wages of sin is what?
Yeah.
So if you're the adulterer, Christ died so that you could slide, but not that you can continue. You still got to repent. Or if you've been cheated on, he said, marvel. It says, offenses shall come. He said, but woe to whom they come. He said, if you offend the least of these, my brethren, my little ones, you might as well tie a millstone around your neck and cast yourself in the sea. Yes, sir.
What was the last scripture you quoted?
That was Romans chapter 4, verse 25.
I don't understand that. Say that again. About what was to the person that gets offended?
Yes, it says no. That's doing the offending.
Oh, okay.
The offended is not the problem. It's natural. You're gonna be offended in your life.
Right.
But the problem is to the offender. The Most High got a problem with the offender,
Oh, okay.
not the offendee. So you know what? And we're gonna deal with that as part of the class. If you have had it happen to you and you was loyal, so there's a way to go about it, and we'll deal with that further on in the class. Yes, sir.
Are you saying there's a way to deal with being offended?
Yes. Yes.
Or I mean, that's what you're going to go over?
That's what we're gonna go into later on in the class. Yes, sir.
And is that what the definition for impudence came about? Was because that's what we look out for, in a sense?
No, those are just signs. That impudent behavior,
Yeah.
it's just signs that it's only a matter of time before somebody offends you. They're gonna trespass you sooner or later because they already have a disgust and a contempt of you. So they already have a lack of respect for you, and that's on both sides, male or female. So when they got a lack of respect for you, it's only a matter of time before they cross your back, stab you in the back. It's only a matter of time. Yes, sir.
Where did you reference the infidelity page from?
That was the pieces from the stat sheets. Yeah, and we'll go over that too.
Okay.
I just don't. This is gonna be a 2-day thing, maybe even a 3-day thing, because there's so much.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's a lot. So it's too much.
That's the real pandemic.
Yeah, straight up, man. Yeah, that really is.
Is it like a book or a website?
No, it's just some stats for 2022.
Oh,
that's
okay,
all.
stats. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You got Ecclesiastes 25, 21 down?
I'm sure. So let's wait till the class unfold.
Okay.
We're gonna get there eventually. Yeah, we're gonna get there eventually. But we gotta deal with this little by little and let it unfold. All right. So back to where we was at. So don't be surprised if you get offended or if somebody stab you in the back, especially when you see signs of insolence and impudence. All right, those are telltale signs of disrespect. But that disrespect isn't always just your fault. Sometimes it's somebody that's not content on what the Most High gives them.
In general.
Yeah, it's not necessarily your doing. It's just the fact that they're not content with the Most High. They're not satisfied or happy with what the Most High gave them and what the situation and condition the Most High put them in. So sometimes you're just the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
You're the recipient of tragedy, of a heart. You're the recipient of a heartbreak.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah. But if that falls on you, if it happens, man, we have to deal with it because it's not like it may never happen.
7 out of 10.
But you gotta know how to function if it does happen. But we gotta be able to identify it so that we can avoid it. I do have to read this though. I do gotta read this one part right here because this is very important, and I might be getting ahead, but I don't care if I'm getting ahead because I think this is very important. Read this right here.
Cover. Gotcha. People who go to church or religious services less than once a year.
So I only go for Easter Sunday, like what's coming up. People only go to church for Easter Sunday. Read on.
Are more likely to cheat.
He said what?
People who go to church or religious services less than once a year are more likely to cheat.
Okay, so everybody listening on YouTube, if you got a man that won't come to class, or you got a sister that won't come to class, not even once a year, they said the stats are against them. The stats are not on their side. They won't even come to class once. You've been warned. The stats are not on your side. Male or female.
Yeah, baby, turn that off.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, read that one more time.
People who go to church,
Yeah,
people go to church or religious services less than once a year.
So you barely show up to church or any religious service. What do the odds say about you?
Are more likely to cheat than those who go a few times a year or more. In other words, religious people are less likely to cheat.
It says religious people are less likely to do what?
To cheat.
Why is that?
They're focused on their morals.
Right. What else?
They have a consciousness of the Most High.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say.
What else? It's not saying that they won't. It just says they're less likely to do it. Go to Proverbs 26:1. I'm sorry, Psalms. Psalms 26:1.
It's my turn. Come. Psalms chapter 26 and verse 1 reads, Judge me, O Yahweh.
It says, Judge me, O Yahweh. Read on.
For I have walked in my integrity.
He says, because I walk in my what?
Integrity.
Because churchgoers, at least, somebody that fears the Lord, will walk in some type of what?
Integrity.
They'll walk in some type of integrity. They'll have some type of integrity. If you got a person that don't fear the Lord, why would they fear a man or a woman? Are you greater than the Most High? No. So they don't have no basic respect for the Most High in Christ. Why should they respect you? But he said, I walk in my integrity. Read on.
For I have walked in my integrity.
Read on.
I have trusted also in the Lord.
It says, so when you deal with a person that puts their trust in the Lord, what happens? What's less likely to happen? Read on.
I have trusted also in the Lord.
Read on.
Therefore, I shall not slide.
It says, therefore, they shall not what?
Slide.
So they're less likely to do what?
Slide.
They're less likely to slide on you when you're dealing with somebody that trusts in the Lord. You got less opportunity to be slid on.
Yeah, you got slid on.
You got slid. You got slid.
Slid.
Yeah. You got slid on because you got an unbeliever. You got your chances go up. They go higher for infidelity when you got a non-believer. When you got somebody that don't trust the Most High. When you got somebody that don't fear the Most High. So the chances you got of making a sound relationship get slimmer. Not saying it's not going to be problematic. It's just that it's a likely chance that relationship, there's going to be some third parties involved. There might be a love triangle going on. And you don't want them third parties involved. Because you know what? That's supposed to be your woman. Now he's sharing. Sharing is caring, right? No, sir. He said, but when you got the right mentality, when you fear the Lord, he says, I will not slide. He said, I'll make sure the Most High, because I walk in my integrity and I fear the Lord, man, that keeps me from making a mistake. Now, we know David made a mistake because we're reading about it. And we're about to go back to it. So if anybody knows this verse, it's who? It's David. If anybody knows what he's talking about, it's him. He wrote that, but we know his actions. So, not saying it's not going to happen, but these are just signs. Okay, let's go back to Josephus. We got that? I think we read all that, right? Let's go back to Josephus, chapter 7. Book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 1. Let's go back to it.
You want me to read it or?
Yeah, whoever had it. Whoever had it.
Yeah,
you got it. Go ahead.
Right.
Read that last part where it says she was one of extraordinary beauty.
Come. Josephus, book 7, chapter 7, page 191.
Go ahead.
Right. She was one of the extraordinary beauty, and therein surpassed all other women.
Go ahead.
Her name was Bathsheba.
Read on.
So he was overcome by that woman's beauty.
He said he was what?
Overcome by that woman's beauty.
Get Ecclesiastes 25 and 21. That's what you was asking for, right, my woman?
Okay.
That's why I said just hold tight.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 21.
Let's read that. Everybody got it? It said apart from what page you on?
This is page 85 in the red book. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman.
It says do what?
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman.
Don't stumble at the beauty of a woman. Read on.
And desire her not for pleasure.
And desire her not for what?
Pleasure.
So when you're looking at a woman the wrong way, you're getting caught up in what David got caught up in. You got enticed. And that being enticed comes from not being content if you're not careful. Then you're easily enticed. I might have to read a little bit more of this real quick. Might just have to read just read this right here.
Why do people cheat? The usual reason that people assume for cheating is that one or both partners are not happy,
That's what they think, right? Read on.
are unsatisfied, or are having other personal problems. The truth is more complicated. As LA Intelligence Detective Agency notes, statistics show that 56% of men and 34% of women who commit infidelity rate their marriages as happy or very happy.
It says so still, even when they rate their marriages as happy or very happy, he said there's still some infidelity involved. Read on.
This makes the reason people cheat a little harder to dissect and comprehend.
So let's read this next set of statistics.
For American and European women,
So now it's looking at both American women, because American women got reasons, and European women got reasons. American men got reasons, and European men have their own reasons. Let's find out.
for American and European women, the number one reason was that their partner did not pay attention enough.
It said what?
That their partner did not pay attention enough to them. And the least important reason was that the American women were bored.
So it says, let's read that again.
Read it again. You want to figure it out.
Yeah.
For American and European women, the number
It says
one
both Europe and American women said the same thing. It said what?
the number one reason was that their partner did not pay enough attention to them. And the least important reason was that American women were bored.
It says American women. It says the least out of 5 things. The choices are: my partner stopped paying attention to me. Number 1. Number 2 was the other person was really hot. Number 3 was I was having doubts about my relationship. Number 4 is the other person was really there for me. That's number 4.
That's the Smith version.
And the number 5 is I needed to feel sexy.
Wow.
So the American women said what? I was bored.
The American women were bored.
That was the least. That was number 5. I was bored. And the Europeans said what?
And European women needed to feel sexy.
Said it was about a feeling.
Wow.
And both of them, number 1 reason was what? Between both of them, he don't pay me no attention. He ignored me. How powerful is that feeling?
It's stronger than the need to feel sexy.
Yeah,
It's stronger than boredom.
It's stronger than boredom.
Wow.
Than idleness.
Yeah.
It's stronger.
It's deeper than idleness.
It's deeper than idleness.
Damn.
He don't pay attention to me. That's number 1. That's across the globe.
Wow.
That's in the U.S. and in America. He paid me no never mind. I dressed up. He didn't notice. I went and got makeup. He didn't notice. I did my hair. Didn't notice. I did my nails. He didn't notice. I put a new outfit on. He didn't notice. Because he wasn't contento.
This is 7 out of 10.
He wasn't contento.
Contento.
So all this he did. I did everything I could do to get his attention. He didn't see me. He didn't ask me no questions. Didn't investigate. Didn't check on me. Didn't see how I was feeling. That's what women think.
This is obviously they're doing a pretty thorough examination of the general people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta pull this. Wow.
So you know what? You know what women say? The dominant reason why they chose to go the other route? It chose adultery, commit adultery and infidelity. Now, none of these reasons are justified. None of them are justified. And we're going to get to that point too. We're not glorifying this as if it's a good thing. It's not. We're not excusing that behavior at all whatsoever. We're not doing that.
What we're showing is that based on these human nature factors,
Yep.
based on the current condition of people, this is where it's at.
This is where people go. Whether we say, man, we're against it, these things still happen. These numbers still exist. Because we are against it. We are against adultery and infidelity. But these actions still exist and they're still a factor of, and a reality of life, even though we teach against it. That's why it's so critical that we keep teaching, so that that number can go down for you and your loved ones, for you and the people that you love. That number can go down
by instilling spiritual ethics.
Right. Yes, sir. Hold it.
Listen, bro, you gotta stop that, man.
Hold it. No, hold on.
Let the class flow, bro.
Hold on. Let's read.
I'm with you, bro. Just text them. Text. We tell us, can you text?
It's already texted.
Okay, I didn't know you texted.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you, bro. If you text, it makes it smoother, bro.
So I want to just get these points real quick, because this is what these are the justifications that people have of why they do what they do.
This is eye-opening, though, bro, because this is worse than I thought.
Yeah.
This is worse than I thought.
Now, read this right here.
It says the website, The Truth About Deception, maintains a poll for cheaters.
And so there's an anonymous poll on this website called Truth About Deception. It's an anonymous poll that maintains a poll for cheaters that's updated daily.
Wow.
It does a daily update.
This is current as it gets.
This is current as it gets.
This is not cool, like. It currently has over
94,600 respondents.
94,600 respondents. The poll allows users who have cheated to anonymously say why they cheated, how many times, and more information. As the results of March 23rd, 2021 show some fascinating info. 43.7% of cheating women and 22.2% of cheating men have cheated on their spouse with someone they both know.
Listen, that's why I said we got to get to this.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a thick pack right here.
It's a thick, bro. We got a lot of work in here.
Mutual friends.
Yeah, mutual friends. But you know what? What happens when I'm not content on what I got? We got to go here. We got to get all this. But that's why I said it's got to be another day. Now, where was we at? David, right? David made this mistake. Read where we at in Josephus one more time, so we can get back to this. It said we was in Ecclesiastes 25 and 21, right? Read.
So he was overcome by the woman's beauty.
And we read Ecclesiastes 25 and 21 said what?
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman.
That's why don't be looking at a woman the wrong way. Don't be looking at a woman to lust. Put scourges on your head, on your mind. Change your perspective. Change and readjust your appetite. Read.
And
desire not. Yeah.
And desire her not for pleasure.
And desire her not for pleasure. What did David do wrong?
Desire her for pleasure.
He desired her for pleasure, because it was unjust. He went beyond just, once he knew, man, that's Uriah's woman, he should have stopped right there. Read on in Josephus.
So he was overcome by that woman's beauty and was not able to restrain his desires.
But you know, he said he was not able to do what?
To restrain his desires.
He was not able to restrain his desires. Read on.
But sent for her and lay with her. Hereupon she conceived with child and sent to the king that he should contrive some way for concealing her sin.
Now he in his mind could have said in his mind, let's just say for instance, we knew Uriah was a what? He was a Hittite, right? He wasn't an Israelite. He was a Hittite. Let's just say, for example, that Uriah being the Hittite was David's excuse. Let's just say, man, that man ain't no Jew no way.
Oh, we do that.
Because we do that too.
Yeah, kind of.
That man, that's a Moabite. That don't matter, man. That's a Moabite. He a Moabite.
She ain't supposed to be with him anyway.
Yeah, that's unjust marriage anyway. You know, the Most High not blessing that anyway.
Let me rescue her from this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Rescue her from this Gentile.
Yeah, from the Gentile, right? Let's just say, for example, that is the mind frame. Well, Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11 says what?
8 verse 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 8, verse 11.
He ain't a Jew. Right?
Rise not up in anger.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11?
Yeah.
Read on. Man, maybe it's Ecclesiastes, man.
I'll read on.
Hold on. Go ahead. No. That's not it. Gotta be this. Hold on. Let me make sure I got the right one. Make sure I got the right one, baby. Let me see. No, 9:11. I'm sorry. 9:11. My bad. Salaki. Ecclesiastes 9:11. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner.
It says, envy not what?
The glory of a sinner.
Well, guess who Uriah's wife was? Uriah is a Gentile, but even if he's not an Israelite or a Jew or a Hebrew, that woman is still that man's what?
Glory.
Glory. That's still that man's glory. That's his glory. That's not your glory.
Right.
If that man landed with an outstanding, magnificent looking woman, then good for him. That's not your glory. Read.
God. For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. Delight not in the thing the ungodly have pleasure in.
He says, delight not in the what?
And the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
So even if this man is a Gentile, and the definition of a Gentile is people that do not know the God of the Bible. That's one of the definitions. So say if this man did not know the God of the Bible, but we know Uriah was loyal, bro. He was beyond loyal. He was a ride or die kind of Gentile. But even still, that's still no justification to say that woman should be mine. Because he's not a Jew. He's not a Hebrew. Because our mind will kind of twist it a little bit to see fit based upon what we want. I kind of want to justify this a little bit. How can I justify this? You know, she said they was only talking. I thought they was only talking. They ain't been together in 6 months. They just broke up. How do we justify it? We always do that. Yeah, they just broke up. They don't count. Read. Verse 12.
Verse 12. Delight not in the thing the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished.
So yeah,
in the grave.
And so you know what? David, he should have known he wasn't gonna get away with it, and there's no way to justify it. Even by chance, if he was to say, well, Uriah's he's a Gentile anyway, there's still no excuse, man. You still ain't supposed to be looking at what somebody else got, regardless, even if they're wicked, because she need a righteous man. He's a no good, low down, sorry, 2-bit son of a gun, and she deserve a righteous man.
He ain't teaching her nothing.
Yeah, he ain't teaching her nothing. She ain't getting the truth. She ain't getting the truth. He got her doing all kind of things. He got her eating swine and smoking and she. You know, let me change it life.
Just saving her life.
You know what? Because we'll do that. We'll try to justify he's no good. He's a no good man. But you know what? That's still not yours. Regardless, it ain't yours. There's no justification for it. Ecclesiastes 5 and 8.
That's a lot, sir.
Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 8. Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten.
It said, don't set your heart upon goods that you got how?
Unjustly.
Unjustly, bro. You know what? You better not glory in the fact that you're holding on to something that you got by defrauding and theft and adultery. You bragging about how you took another man's woman? Or how you a woman tricking on your husband? And you bragging about that? You're bragging about that. It's in the music. But it's in, but you bragging about it. You had your head up crying?
Nah, this is just on that point. They do that on music, especially hip hop, bro. They boast on that crazy. They boast on that crazy.
I kind of don't want to bring this out. I kind of don't want to bring this out, but y'all bringing it out. Y'all bringing it out. Hold on. You know what? I try my best to refute this stat right here. But now you gotta read this for me if you can.
In terms of demographic breakdowns in the U.S., the Institute of Family Studies has a lot of data. Black Americans cheat more than other races.
Damn.
With 22%.
Come on, read that one more time. I mean, like they lied. They lied on us. They lied on me.
It's always the worst statistics, bro. Black Americans cheat more than other races, with 22% of married Black Americans admitting they've cheated compared to 16% of whites overall.
They might have whitewashed that a little.
And 13% of Hispanics. In terms of gender and race, married Black men had a cheating rate of 28% compared to 20% of married white men and 16% of married Hispanic men.
That's it. I hate reading that.
It's a hard one to take.
But you know who produced hip hop like that? We do. Yep. Yeah. And you know what we bragging about in the music? Yeah. Cheating.
Yeah.
Taking another man's woman. Glorifying it like it's something to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So I hate that, but you know what? We pushing it. You know what just shows my people are destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge, bro. They just show how destroyed we are. As not saying it doesn't happen with other races. It just so happens to be one of the things that the Most High has punished us for because of our foolishness. So, man, I hate that. But read Ecclesiastes 5 and 8 one more time.
Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 8. Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten.
That's why for us, for whoever you are, it says don't be bragging about something that you got and you got it unjustly. Don't be bragging. You know, it is a sugar daddy. You know, I'm married, but I got a sugar daddy. Okay, you got a sugar daddy. He buy you things. Okay, he deck you out. Okay,
I got it like that.
Yeah, you know, he pay my bills. You know, he cover the rent. But I'm married, but I got a sugar daddy. Okay. He said, don't be bragging and be boasting about what?
Goods unjustly gotten.
Man, you know what? That's not something to be proud of, man. Finish that.
For they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity.
It says they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. Because the Most High going to drop the hammer on you. Unknowingly. Unsuspectingly. The Most High going to bring that to an end. You saw that video the other day with the brother that saw that woman, his wife, in the hotel. He was crying. Y'all see that?
I see a lot of those videos.
But nah, man, this brother had a cry that was from the depth of his soul, man.
I see that.
It's the man that met I wish I had the video. I wish I don't know. How,
hotel lobby or something?
Yeah, he was in the hotel lobby and he followed his wife. And he showed up at the hotel and he followed her to the hotel and she was getting in the elevator with another man. And he was fuming. And but you gotta hear after class you gotta go and hear this. You gotta hear what comes out of that man's gut. And she was just like, leave.
Oh, bro.
Wow.
You gotta hear this man's cry.
And then there's another part, which is the man that's standing there.
Yeah.
With her.
Yeah. Well, you know the man that's trying to console the man that's crying.
No, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's the dude that she's dealing with, but there's another guy he's a witness.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's standing by, but he's consoling the brother that's crying, that just realized that my wife is cheating on me. He's yelling, he's screaming out of his soul, man.
Yeah.
It's a cry that you don't hear grown men cry.
No.
You don't hear that kind of pain that comes from the gut of a man like that. There's only certain times that a man will cry and make that kind of noise.
Right. Wow.
You got to see it for yourself. Some of us may know how I feel. And then the man that's at the hotel, he just grab him and hug him, man. And then the man just drops down his head and his body on that stranger's shoulder. Because he was hurt, man. We gotta deal with these things. These are realities, man. Stuff happens whether we hear or not.
Yeah.
So, Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 6.
Ecclesiastes 23 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23, verse 6.
Read that.
Let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me.
Man, he said, don't give me that disease. Read on.
And give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind.
Go ahead.
Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips.
Now, you gotta watch what you say, watch what you do, watch what you think. Let's finish this. I want to finish this in Josephus. Who got the Josephus? I want to finish that. I want to finish this real quick. Keep going.
Come. Line
And you hold
131.
You hold where we at in Ecclesiastes, because we're gonna read that in just a minute. Read that.
Line 131 in page 191, book 7, chapter 7 reads, Hereupon she conceived with child and sent to the king, that he should contrive some way for concealing her sin. For according to the laws of their fathers, she who had been guilty of adultery ought to be put to death.
It says, for he that is, according to the law, he that is guilty of adultery ought to be what?
Put to death.
Put to death.
And we know that that's Romans 6 and 23. The wages of sin is what?
Death.
Death, man. That's the law. But Christ died for our offenses, so that you could be saved if you made that mistake. That's why you cannot despise the blood of Christ. You cannot crucify Christ afresh by continually doing things that he died for, so you can be clean from. Read.
So the king sent for Joab's armor bearer for the siege, who was the woman's husband, and his name was Uriah. And when he was come, the king inquired of him.
Right there. Now jump over. Jump over to chapter 3. Paragraph 3. At 150. Line 150.
Reads, This discourse troubled the king exceedingly, and he denounced to Nathan that this man was a wicked man. Who could dare to do such a thing? And that it was but just that he should restore the lamb fourfold.
They said, now this is David talking. Man, I can't believe a man would steal another man's lamb. This man is wicked. He should be punished and return that lamb fourfold. Read on.
And be punished with death for it also. Upon this, Nathan immediately said that he was himself the man who ought to suffer those punishments.
He said, you the man that should what?
Suffer those punishments.
You deserve to suffer those punishments. Read on.
And that by his own sentence. And that it was he who had perpetrated this great and horrid crime. He also revealed to him and laid before him the anger of the Most High against him, who had made him king over the army of the Hebrews and lord of all the nations. And those many great nations round about him, who had formerly delivered him out of the hands of Saul.
Go ahead.
And had given him such wives as he had justly and legally married.
We just read out of the Unger's Bible Dictionary all the wives of David. He said he justly and legally married those women. And the Most High had no problem with that man with them women. But it was the problem was when you want what's not yours. Read on.
And now this Most High was despised by him, and affronted by his impiety.
He says he was affronted by his what?
Impiety.
So that impiety is when I don't have reverence of the Most High. I'm willing to do something that's irreverent to the Most High because of my lust. I become an irreverent man. I become disrespectful to the Most High because of my lust. That's what angers the Most High. You didn't just violate that man, you violated your relationship with the Father. You didn't just violate that woman, you violated your relationship with the Father. I gotta bring follow in here real quick. Now, if you can read this real quick. I always bring something up out of here, right? Read this right here.
All right. Right here?
Yeah.
124? All right.
They said, no, right here, in the first place.
All right.
He begins.
He begins with adultery, looking upon this as the greatest of all violations of the law.
He said, Philo said adultery is one of the greatest violations of the law concerning how to treat when you're dealing with people. Of course, we know the Ten Commandments being, that thou shalt have no other gods but the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And you should have no other gods before you. That's the greatest. But as far as how you're dealing with people, you're exchanging with people, this is the greatest.
For in
greater than stealing, bearing false witness, murder. He said, how you dealing with people? He said, this is the greatest. Read on.
For in the first place, it has...
Just read on down, yeah.
Okay. For in the first place, it has for its source the love of pleasure.
So it was done out of what?
The love of pleasure.
So it was done out of the flesh. That's how you know it's bad. It was done out of the flesh. There was nothing spiritual about it. Read on.
Which exvernates the bodies of those who indulge in it and relaxes the tone of the soul.
So you sell out your soul for your flesh. For some simple satisfaction in the flesh, you selling out your soul. You're compromising your soul. Your soul is being compromised for some simple carnal fleshly pleasure. Read on.
And destroys the essences of it, consuming everything that it touches like unquenchable fire, and leaving nothing which affects human life uninjured.
Read on.
Inasmuch as it not only persuades the adulterer to commit iniquity, but also teaches him to join others in wickedness.
So now you in order to act out that sin, you have to have somebody involved. That's not a one person. Adultery is not a one party sin.
Wow.
It takes two to tango. Right? Read on.
Making an association in things in which there ought to be no such participation. For when the violent passion seizes on a man, it is impossible for the appetites to arrive at the accomplishment of their object by one person alone.
So it says, so this person, when they're filled with a real violent passion, he says they're going to act it out on somebody. So they're going to either by force act it out on somebody, or they're going to find a participant to act it out on. But they're going to act out their passion one way or another. That's what happens when somebody's overthrown by their lust. Read on.
But it is indispensable that two should share in the action, the one taking the place of the teacher.
Go ahead.
And the other of that of the pupil.
Go ahead.
For the complete confirmation of those most disgraceful evils, intemperance and lasciviousness.
Read on.
Nor can one allege, right?
Yep.
As an excuse.
It says nobody can come up with the excuse that what?
That it is only the body of the woman.
So I don't see what the problem is. I'm only using her body for my pleasure. Even though that's, even in the act of adultery, there is no justification. He said that some men might say, well, I'm not doing anything spiritually. I'm only using and benefiting her body. Or a woman may say, I didn't give him my mind. I just gave my body. But I didn't give him my mind. Some people may try to downplay it and say, well, it was only physical. Read on.
Who is committing adultery that is corrupted. But if one...
or some might say it is only the body of the woman who is committing adultery that is corrupted. Go ahead.
But if one must tell the truth, even before the corruption of the body, the soul is accustomed to alienation from virtue.
He says, so even before I did the act,
Crazy, bro.
he's showing you was already guilty because your mind was alienated from what?
From virtue.
From virtue. So he's showing you that you acted out a thought that made you guilty before you actually did the guilty act. You were already alienated or pulled away from virtue. You had already submitted your virtue and had sold your virtue out before you actually did the actual commencement of the adultery. You already threw your virtue in the trash. Read
Is
on.
it like your moral?
Yes.
Being taught in every way to repudiate and to hate its husband.
So he's saying that the husband, listen what he's saying. He's saying the husband, and let me get this right. He says virtue is the husband of the soul. That's what he's saying.
Wow.
Virtue is the husband of the soul. So before you actually did an action of adultery, you already sold out your husband. Your husband was who? The virtue. Your virtues. That's what he's saying when he says you repudiated to hate his husband. Talking about its husband is talking about virtue being the husband of the soul. Your virtue should be married to your soul. But before you even gave up your body to a person, you had already sold out your virtues. You've already committed adultery in the mind, within yourself. You've already violated your own virtue. So now the actual act is only natural that you perform the actual act afterwards. But the adultery was done prematurely, is all he's saying.
And that's a great analogy, because you think about like the role of a husband as a protector. It protects, so the virtue is protecting your soul.
Right, the virtues are strengths. The Most High talk about one of the most comeliest things that a man can have is the virtue of souls. You can read that in Wisdom of Solomon. Get that real quick. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 verse 11. And then also go to Josephus since we got it. Go to Josephus book 6 chapter 8 paragraph line 158. Book 6 chapter 8 line 158.
You want this Wisdom of Solomon first?
Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 start at verse 7 and then jump over to Josephus book 6 chapter 8 line 158.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 and verse 7. And if a man love righteousness,
It says if a man love righteousness, go ahead.
her labors are virtue.
It says so if a man loves righteousness, he's fighting, he's working to acquire what?
Virtue.
He's trying to obtain virtues if you love righteousness. Read on.
For she teacheth temperance.
It says righteousness teaches you temperance. Philo said that for the complete confirmation of the most disgraceful evils, intemperance and licentiousness. So you already sold out your what? Your virtue. Because virtues teach you temperance. And if you don't have any virtues, you become intemperate. Read on.
Says teaches temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as man can have nothing more profitable in their life.
So what should a man have that can be that there's no price or no value to?
Virtues.
Virtues, bro. How does the Most High feel about that? Now you got to go to Josephus, book 6, chapter 8. Somebody read that next.
Line 157.
Yeah, line 158.
Josephus, book 6, chapter 8, 158. And when they all saluted him and asked what was the occasion of his coming, he told them he came to sacrifice to the Most High. When therefore he got the sacrifice ready, he called Jesse and his son. Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. Keep going.
Okay.
This is when Samuel picked a king. Read on.
To partake of those sacrifices. And when he saw his eldest son to be a tall and handsome man, he guessed by his comeliness that he was the person who was to be the future king.
Right. So this is Samuel picking a king from Jesse's children. I mean, Saul's family. Read.
But he was mistaken in judging about the Most High's providence. Okay. For when Samuel inquired of the Most High whether he should anoint this youth, whom he admired and esteemed worthy to be of the kingdom, the Most High said, men do not see as the Most High seeth.
He said, men do not see as the Most High seeth. Read on.
Thou indeed hast respect to the fine appearance.
He said, men look at the outside. Men look at the outside. They don't look at the inside of a person. Men look at the outside. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta get this one stat real quick. Let me get this one. Read this right here, Daviat. Why do men cheat?
Why do men cheat? Men generally have different motivations for infidelity than women, although every case varies.
Right? Read.
Men tend to be more visual.
It said men tend to be what?
More visual.
They cheat for what? Looks.
Carnal.
Carnal.
Mm-hmm.
Read on.
And get tempted into infidelity by their physical desires.
So men look at the what?
Outside.
That's why the Most High said, listen, men don't think like me. men don't think the same. Read that part again, Nathaniel.
Verse line 160. Thou indeed have respect.
No, men. It says.
Okay.
The Most High said.
It says.
Right above it.
Right above it. Right above 160.
Okay, Most High said, men do not see as the Most High seeth.
Men look at the physical. They look at the visual. And they get tempted into infidelity by their physical desires. Go ahead.
Thou indeed hast respect to the fine appearance.
Because men are shallow. So are women. We're looking at the outside. Read.
Thou indeed hast respect to the fine appearance of this youth.
Most I don't give a damn how somebody look. Read on, but we do. We pick for the wrong damn reasons. Or we're discontent for the wrong reasons. Because they don't look like so-and-so. They don't have what somebody else has. Because you're too busy looking at the outside. You know how many good women that men passed up because they didn't look right? You know how many good men that women passed up because they didn't have the look? Read on. Or the look got him in trouble. Read on.
And thence esteemed him worthy of the kingdom.
Go ahead.
While I propose the kingdom as a reward.
He said, the Most High said, I propose the kingdom as a reward. Go ahead.
Not of the beauty of the bodies.
The Most High don't give a damn about how the body look. Keep it healthy, but hey, Most High's not into looks like men. Men are shallow. That's why men are discontent. Women are shallow. That's why they're discontent. Read on.
But of the virtue of soul.
But what does the Most High care about?
The virtue of souls.
What does the Most High care about?
But the virtue of souls.
Does your soul have any virtue to it? That's what the Most High care about. What kind of virtues do you have? You don't got no virtues, you're not attractive to the Most High. Male or female. Read on.
It says, but of the virtue of souls, and I inquire after one that is perfectly comely and that I respect.
In that respect.
In that respect, Salah.
Read on.
I mean one who is beautiful in piety.
He said, the Most High said, I'm looking for one that's beautiful in what?
In piety.
What is piety?
Reverence to the Most High.
Reverence to the Most High. Do you respect the Most High? Do you fear the Lord? The Most High says a person, a male or female that fears the Lord, that's attractive. That's a 5-star individual. That's a top-notch choice. You know what Kevin Samuel say? That's a high-value individual. That's a high-value man or high-value woman. It's somebody that possesses piety. They respect the Most High. They got a fear of the Lord. Read on.
It says, and righteousness, and fortitude, and obedience. For in them consists the comeliness of the soul.
It says, how attractive is your soul? That's what the Most High care about, not what you look like. Does your soul glow? Does your soul have, is your soul decorated with piety? What else? Fortitude, righteousness, obedience. That's what the Most High care about. Give a damn how you look. But people got the wrong perspective, and people choose wrong. That's why some men do what they do. That's why they do what they do, because they got a backwards way of thinking. But now we understand. Let's go back to where we were, because we got to finish it up. Let that go. Let's go back to finishing Josephus and book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 1. Let's get that. Let's finish it up.
Got it. I got it. Paragraph 1. You want me to read 131?
I'll tell you what to read. Book 7, chapter 7. Read paragraph 3. And I want you to get line 152. 152.
152?
Yes.
Alright.
It's book 7, chapter 7, paragraph 3, line 152.
Come. That the Most High will inflict punishment upon him on account of those instances of wickedness.
Go ahead.
That his own wives should be forced by one of his sons.
He said, so you know what? Because you want to force yourself on a woman that wasn't yours, I'm going to have your own son force himself on one of your wives. Read on.
And that he should be treacherously supplanted by the same son.
And you know what this same son is going to sleep with your wife? It says this same man, your son, is going to overthrow your kingdom. Read on.
And that although he had perpetrated his wickedness secretly, yet should that punishment which he was to undergo be inflicted publicly upon him.
It shall be inflicted how?
Publicly upon him.
Because what you do in the day is, what you do in the dark is going to come to the light. So the Most High is going to make all your secrets be manifest and be made public in the street. Read on.
That, moreover, said he, the child who was born to thee of her shall soon die.
He said this child is not going to make it either. The Most High is not going to let that child live. Read on.
When the king was troubled at these messages and sufficiently confounded.
He was what?
Confounded.
He was confused. He was confounded. He was at a loss. Read on.
And said, with tears and sorrow, that he had sinned.
He said he admitted what?
Sin.
He admitted, man, that I sinned, man. He confessed it. He said, man, I made a big mistake. I sinned. Read Ecclesiastes 23, and you had verse 6, Yahweh. Now read verse 8.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23, verse 8. It says, the sinner shall be left.
It said the sinner shall what?
The sinner shall be left.
Go ahead.
In his foolishness.
It said the sinner shall be left in his what?
Foolishness.
In his foolishness, man. Now David had to live this out. He had to live out this horror because of one bad decision. He said, but there was only one good thing about David. Almost only one good thing that happened to him. Next brother, read Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha. I want you to get chapter 47, verse 1. Stay where you at, Yahweh.
Ecclesiastes chapter 47 and verse 1.
Read that.
God. And after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of David. As is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel.
It said the Most High chose David out of the children of Israel. Right? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. For he called upon the Most High Lord.
What did David do?
For he called upon the Most High Lord.
Read on.
And he gave him strength in his right hand to slay the mighty warrior.
So he gave him strength to defeat Goliath, because David leaned on the Most High, even in his mistakes. Now we just read in Ecclesiastes 23:8. He said what?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 verse 8. It says, "The sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby."
It says, so did the Most High leave David in his foolishness? Read verse 11. Not you, but Ecclesiastes 47.
Ecclesiastes 47:11. The Lord took away his sins.
The Lord did what?
Took away his sins.
What did the Most High do to David's mistake of adultery?
The Lord took away his sins.
Why did the Lord take away David's sin?
He was, he repented.
Because he confessed.
He confessed, and he acknowledged what he did.
He acknowledged what he did. That's why the Most High let it slide. He let it go. He didn't hold it against him. There was still a consequence. But he didn't leave him in his foolishness. He said the Most High did what?
Took away his sins.
He said the Most High took away his sins. Read on.
And exalted his horn forever.
And lifted him up forever, even though he made a mistake of adultery. But why is that? Now you read Yahweh, verse 11 in Ecclesiastes chapter 23.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 verse 11. It says, "A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
Read on.
And the plague shall never depart from his house.
Read on.
If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him.
Say, if this man sin, his sin shall be upon him. Read on.
And if he acknowledge not his sin,
and if a man acknowledge not his sin, read on.
He maketh a double offense.
He said, if a man or woman does not confess of what they've done, he said they make what?
A double offense.
He said they are a double offender. Because you knew it, but you wouldn't say nothing. Because you knew it, but you wouldn't confess it. And that's why the Most High will leave you in your sin. Unlike David, who he allowed him to take his sin away. Last verse for the night, Proverbs 23:1. Psalms 23:1.
Psalms chapter 23, verse 1. The Most High is my shepherd, I shall not want.
He said, the Most High is my shepherd, I shall not want. Read.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters.
I'm sorry, it must be Proverbs. I'm sorry, I'm about to go to the most famous prayer. You know,
He's topping it off. He's topping it off.
You ain't never lied. Now we understand what Dave was like. Listen, man, the Most High is my only protector, man. Give me that. It's got to be Proverbs 32:1. I'm sorry.
32.
It says, when thou sittest to eat.
No. Psalms 32:1. I said 23. Psalms 32:1, because I'm looking at Ecclesiastes 23, the last one thing we read. Salakia. Psalms 32:1. That's what I want. That will end it with that.
Sure. Psalm chapter 32, verse 1. Blessed is he whose transgressions is forgiven.
It says, blessed is he whose what?
Transgression is forgiven.
You are blessed if you made mistakes, such as infidelity, adultery, and the Most High let you slide. You blessed. And that's if you confess, like David did. The Most High didn't hold it against him; He took away his iniquity. So you blessed. Read on.
It says, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom the Most High imputeth not iniquity.
Go ahead.
And in whose spirit there is no guile.
So you better get out the guile. If there's guile and iniquity in you, you blessed if you confess it and get it out. Not saying that you not gonna make mistakes, but you gotta forsake those mistakes, and you gotta confess it and ask the Most High to take that sin away from you. Just like David did. The Most High took that sin off David, even though he made a grand mistake that was worthy of death. And we'll stop. We got more class, but we got to stop it there. It's already 10:30. Yes, sir. Okay, I thought you had
I
your
was,
hand.
no, I was actually gonna add, he still had to lose something, but
Yeah, it still came with a cost.
overall, he let David continue.
He let him continue. All right. So, any questions? Any questions? All right. With that, we're gonna go and say shalom. We're not gonna say the prayer because it's already 10:30. Let's go and get out. I know it's late, but we're gonna have round 2 next week.
Shalom.
Shalom. All right, shalom, Israel. The water for watching. Back on Friday. Back in action on Friday.